Central Valley in general has a lot of talent, and I think that the main message that we're trying to get across is that like not only is there talent within like the 209 and all these different places in the Central Valley, that we can make it a hub for stand-up, because I mean, people want to do our shows.
Dude, this is like a halfway place for halfway house, halfway home.
It's a halfway home. You're like, why is it that it's a pit stop and it's not like a destination?
Yeah,
it's because there's nothing out here to like. There's no staple to what.
There's not the Chicago bean. You know what I mean? We don't got no bean.
Yeah, there's no queen bean in Merced, dude.
Our cities are designed around drive-throughs, and like we're a transit-oriented like thing, and it's like design it like people live here and want to stay here and want to live in it.
Yeah.
Don't design it around vehicles going elsewhere.
Shout out Duffy, shout out Micah.
This is it. Central Valley Podcast.
Hey, big shout out Central Valley Podcast.
You know I had to fuck with it. Hey, shout out Central Valley Podcast.
What's good, you guys? Season 7 in Studio 99. We actually made it to the front page of the Merced County Times that you can get for free. And by the time this comes out, it'll be a month old. But our grand opening also happened, super successful. Yeah, you guys were there, right?
Dude,
it
we were
awesome.
sick as fuck. Remember when that stripper came?
Yeah.
And that
To the
thing we
community
can't
event.
talk about. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, they were male strippers.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my fault.
Marcus ordered them.
That's on me. I thought I wanted to have fun.
Yes. So I'm sitting here with the offline comedy dudes, right? So why don't you guys introduce yourselves and like kind of give your elevator pitch? I know you listen. You live, eat, breathe, and do elevator speech to everybody I see you talk to. But go, do a cool version though.
For the first time? It's whatever. You'll like it. Is that good?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, so offline comedy. I'm Andrew Nosrati. I created offline comedy in 2022. It's a no-phone secret location comedy production. We do like underground comedy clubs throughout the Central Valley and now beyond.
Yeah. And so how did that Marcus, who are you?
Hey, what's up? I'm Marcus Pevrill. I was ready to not talk for the rest of the podcast. I was ready, dude. No, I'm Marcus Pevrill. I'm a partner with Andrew, and we do this thing together. That's pretty much the whole vibe.
Oh, gotcha. And then, so how did the idea get going? You know what I mean? How did offline comedy get inspired?
Yeah, so in 2022, I was in the middle of a project, a creative co-working space in Turlock, and the build-out was taking a long time. Life was frustrating. It was, I think, a tail end of COVID.
I was going to say, so the end of 2020?
End of 2022.
Oh, 2022 is when it started?
Yeah. Or November 21.
Okay,
21.
gotcha.
Yeah. So it was like people were out and about, but not like it. Like life hadn't. I felt like come back. And shit. I did it already.
You
can swore.
Stop it.
I know, but it's a challenge for myself. I'm gonna do it. Okay.
Yeah, but if you're gonna make this podcast worse by not cussing and being yourself, then just cuss and be yourself.
He said to make the pitch better than you usually make it, and this is the script you do every person on the street, dude.
Yeah. Okay, so 2021, I was doing this thing, and then I wanted something to happen in the space, and I reached out to our dear friend Taylor Evans, fellow comic.
Shout out Taylor.
Taylor. Yeah, he was my connection to the comedy scene in 2009. I used to do comedy in LA and New York, but never like with conviction. I did.
You would just like go up open mics or what?
Yeah, like I did improv and sketch writing, and then like the dream of stand-up comedy, I was like really bad at it. Like I would
was
I didn't say I'm not, but yeah.
I'm the host of offline comedy, like I said.
So like
you were always kind of inspired by comedy. You like comedy. You were around it, at least like in the bigger cities, right?
Yeah.
What brought you back to the Central Valley then? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I was in New York, cut to whatever years later, and family just brought me back to 209, and like circumstances brought me home, and then I I spontaneously did some stuff like running for local office, and then I won, and I got anchored into town for 4 years.
Yeah.
And if I did not win, probably would have left.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, I can't. This is the most like serious long-term commitment I've ever had.
It's 4 years for the city council members and stuff.
I don't think I knew that when I filed my papers.
You're like, yeah, it's like a year or 2 year thing that we have to do.
And then so I ran for
we don't want to hear what the people think.
We're not going to talk about That's a different episode. Came back home and like after the...
And what were you doing during that time in city council? You were like working at that co-work space or whatever?
So I came back with my LA job and then eventually like went the entrepreneurial route and started doing like projects like that. The co-working space was like getting up and going, and that's when I was just like, let's just do something. I was like, I had a really big itch to do something, and I reached out to Taylor and I said, how quickly could we do a comedy show? And I will say, like, the first one, it was a construction site when we did it.
Like, it wasn't actually, like, it was built but not done.
Yeah, like, it was tenant improvements were underway. Like we had a partition wall down the middle of the room. That was exposed. The beams were exposed, and half our audience was on one side, half on the other, and we had the desk lamp perched in the middle as our spotlight, because the spotlight that I had, my dad's old spotlight that I found in an attic,
it didn't
burnt out like before the show, and so I had to go to a thrift
like hella
store.
Hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like the
saw smoke
construction one.
Yeah. So we did that thing, and then it was.
And how many people were at the first show?
It had to have been like 50.
That's still good, though.
Too many. It was too many for the space, and it was so much
kind
fun.
of seems like your thing, but go on.
The fire marshal maybe watch.
I've been talking to him, but yeah.
I don't even think I asked this question. How much time did you have to promote that first show? You said a week?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
so. 50
was,
people in a week is fucking insane.
Yeah.
And was it still like in this like? So it was in Turlock, right? Right in downtown.
Yeah.
And how did you get? Was it like a lot of your coworkers or what? You know what I mean? How do you get?
So Taylor's very like popular. He's a super popular like Turlock comic. And our friends and family and friends of the friends, like they were just like, oh, this is cool. Like, what are you guys doing? Where is it? And we're like, we'll text you on the morning of. And then
So you always had the idea of doing it offline, or did your first show, just how you did it, end up kind of leading the way of like, oh, this is kind of a cool concept?
So offline, the brand, like the logo and like the idea of
that
like
inception, right?
Yeah. The ideas of all that predates the shows. Like I did some movies in the park and like a street festival and stuff where like the mission of like just taking people off the internet was the heart of it. I was like, let's get people into life and let's give them like fun, excitement, like joy, all that stuff. And so like the logo,
you're cooking. Go on.
Yeah. So exactly. And so I was like, there was one like the first street festival in Turlock that we did. We brought like a piano.
Is it outside?
Yeah, outside. And so for those,
but those ones, it's not comedy based.
No, well, that one was just like offline. It was
just come hang out and be present.
Be present, and exactly. It was just like encourage the space, and I was just like, I created little circles where I was like, no phones allowed in this space.
Gotcha.
And then I did like weird art installations where we got a piano donated to us, and that was going to be thrown away. And then we got a bunch of spray paint and a sledgehammer, and I got to destroy a piano on Main or on First Street.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really fun, and like immediately afterwards, it was like, we definitely have to have people sign waivers. If they're
trust me, you're getting this studio, and I had like a whole production crew here. I almost ate shit like 7 times on chords, and I was like, I definitely need to get some waivers going on here because that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Is this rude? You think this is rude to do in a podcast?
It is.
Only if I don't do this. Marcus, can you?
No, I'm just gonna do this, dude.
Cross-legged. I did have a whole argument with my friend's wife
I'm not gonna
one
stop
time
doing
about
this, by
it.
the way.
It looks comfortable.
I do feel very good.
Honestly, some people do pod.
Is this racist?
To my people?
No, I don't care about your people.
Yeah, not a Syrians, okay?
Yeah, not everything's about you guys,
Syrians,
dude.
okay? Sometimes Native Americans have this place first, okay?
Yeah, dude.
And then we took it.
USA.
Jeez, Louise.
Hey, how are you? Well, back to offline. Yeah, plug. Segue.
Let's
Cut it.
So
Cut it.
offline was a thing before.
Yeah, the logo started. I just I picked up some paintbrush and some stuff, and the first thing I painted was a power outlet, and I was like, "Ooh, it looks so cool if vines were going through a power outlet." So the image of a dystopian
Like apocalypse.
future.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, the plants will always overtake, nature will always overtake these temporary things that is technology.
I did have a thing. Remember? Okay,
Go on, Marcus.
we're gonna.
Hey, what are you doing over here?
Hey, sorry, man. I just woke up. Just woke up, dude. This whole time I was
He's just
I was
fast out in it. It just comes up.
Anyway, so hey, no, I did have so.
Yeah, just Duffy right there.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Woman. Whoa. Okay. Yeah. This is
Women
lab.
are cool.
Yeah, women are cool.
No,
Okay, sorry.
no, I was thinking about this because so me and Andrew, we've been friends for longer than when we've been doing offline together.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did you guys link up?
Well, so he was with Taylor, hanging out, they were doing the offline thing, and then I remember, okay, so me and Andrew did this shroom trip in an Airbnb one time, and Andrew was
it's always the
being
best
very
when you just lock yourself indoors and do it.
yeah, dude. No, it was a nice cabin.
Oh, that's
though.
cool.
It was cool.
Yeah,
It was I don't remember where we were at. We were Woodland.
I've tried to block it out of my memory.
I'm gonna bring it back out, and we're gonna kill you on this podcast. But I do remember there was multiple times where Andrew was just like, "Can't you guys wait for a revolution? Can't you guys?" And just, high as hell off mushrooms. We were looking at a tree, and he was just like, "Don't you just think that we should all just destroy the media or the media and the internet?" And then
Yeah, that's normal. Yeah.
yeah. Well, no, but
No,
it
just
just
a
felt
shroom trip.
yeah, and then.
I don't know what they do.
That-
That's
okay.
live. I was going for poop, poop, poop. Sorry. Let me learn what they are. Sorry. Okay.
But
Sorry.
Anyway.
We'll figure it out. Don't worry. If we ever edit this up, it'll be cool. Oh God.
but then I just remember Andrew looking at a tree, and he was just like we should just get back in nature. And then I looked at the tree, and I looked at Andrew, and I was like, do you think do you ever think about how many deaths this tree has experienced?
That's not how it went.
Go
Okay,
on,
no,
Andrew.
I was looking at the tree. I was looking at the
nice.
tree, and I was looking out, and I was thinking how beautiful nature was.
That is, yeah, that's true. I said
So
that.
far, correct.
Okay.
And then I look at the tree, and I'm thinking oh man, it's seen so many people stay in this cabin. It's seen so much life.
The wood in the cabin. Okay.
Yeah,
You guys are saying
the
a
tree.
Oh,
The tree.
oh,
The
okay.
tree
outside the cabin.
of the cabin
I
is
was like, this
it's experienced so many people coming in and out of this Airbnb.
Yeah, it's so much older than all of us.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Airbnb's only been around for 10 years, but yeah.
maybe so I'm looking at the tree, and I'm thinking that, and then Marcus and his friend Diego come out, and I'm explaining my revelation on how beautiful that nature is older than we
Dude,
are.
when you try to explain to your friends what's going on with you on shrooms, it's just never. It's
all
never
this-
a good translation.
you know
for-
what they said?
What?
They said, "Yeah, imagine how many murders it's seen."
in this Airbnb.
And I immediately thought I was going to be a sacrifice for all of these people in this cabin.
What message would you think we're sacrificing you for? Just you think that's how Taylor gains so much weight, is that we sacrifice these people and then just put their bodies into his body and they mesh?
You want to know the logic associated with it?
Sure.
I wrote a whole horror film. I was like, oh, so this is
This
just
guy takes one experience, writes a whole film about it.
it was
I think your Free Willy teacher really
ruined me.
really gave you some trauma of I don't know what she was teaching, but I know it was nothing good because that person wrote Free Willy. If you're the director of Free Willy 3, fuck you.
You were a bad teacher. You were a bad teacher.
What was her name?
I don't know.
You know her name.
I honestly don't. I should look it up. I'm going to go through my transcripts. I was also a bad writer, but you're supposed to be encouraging to bad writers in college.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, you went to college when? When did you graduate?
2010.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How old are you, Marcus?
I'm 27.
Wow, Marcus is young. Is he really 27?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I graduated high school in 2015.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That sounds like I know it's 2009 and like 2000. That sounds crazy, honestly. But I'm 31, so I'm right there.
Yeah.
But
6 years though. Yeah, and it's like
and you're 30 what?
7. 27.
I'm
10-year
27,
gap.
37.
31.
We're not necessarily a partnership. This is more of me getting a mentor. That's basically what that is.
I'm getting some work experience.
Yeah, dude. I'm Anakin Skywalker. He's my Obi-Wan, and I'm gonna turn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking turn, dude.
I keep worrying about that.
Yeah, dude.
Welcome to Unplugged.
Yeah, dude.
And Mike is my partner for it because he can't remember which one's which. All right, back to offline real quick. So wait, anything else to Shroom Trip?
I thought it was really funny that
Just,
Andrew thought we
you
were
were
all
gonna
gonna
say-
kill him.
For a long time.
No, like this is like
Oh, bro.
until recently.
Well, I was in my friend's house one time and, we were all doing it. And like his mirror was just like his mirror in his bathroom, just like and like shit was everywhere. And it looked like a murder scene. And I was in the bathroom. Like every time I take a piss, I would just get stuck in the mirror. And I was like, oh my God, I can't get out of here. But then I was the person looking at me in the mirror. So I wasn't
That's what a
even-
mirror is.
No. I was in the mirror though. I know it sounds. I'm saying like.
Oh,
I
you
was
switched?
Like I switched, and I always felt like I was
That's
the person
scary.
watching out, looking out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you still feel that way
No,
currently?
no. Well, how do you
long
think?
did it take?
How do you think I got all this?
Yeah.
I was just kidding.
No, so then you could get back in tune with the person that's in the mirror. That's why you have so many cameras.
Yeah, let me try to get back into it.
Damn. Yeah, no, it's scary.
Yeah.
I had a terrible trip. And then,
I had a cool one.
and then I quit comedy for a year. I was like, I don't want to be a sacrifice.
It was a good time.
And then so then offline you started. Are you doing those shows that weren't comedy? Right? You did your first comedy show.
that was just like that would be a prequel if it was gonna be a movie.
But Unplugged was the idea. Oh, no, oh my God, I did it on the
just
podcast.
offline. It's okay.
Oh
It's
my
all right. I
gosh,
get it.
I'm
I've had to
so
fight it for a
sorry.
long time.
It's just because I brought it up.
I know. It's okay.
In our text message, that says
fine.
CVP offline.
Yeah.
I was like,
what is this called? Mid Valley Podcast?
I was like, yeah, I did the
209 times. Is that what this is?
Oh God, I hope I can only dream to be 209 times one day.
I don't think
Have
you
you
should.
seen that guy's photo of himself? Motex Sanchez is his name. I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying he looks like a mob boss sitting there,
No.
and he's like this with a cigar. And then I don't know if he has a Boston accent, but that's what I do. Like, you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I think he's
anything about
I think
Mexican.
any owner, I think you should have a
cigar.
Boston accent.
Okay.
Just change.
Just do it.
I'll change for you guys.
no.
I'm a comedian. I'll adapt.
And then, so offline started happening. How did it ramp up after that one show?
Yeah, so we did that one show and it was so fun. We're just like, we got to do it again. And we're just like, let's get another one on the books. We have like a momentum going. And I did a second show in the same venue and there was like more people and definitely less legal. And then I got in like a bit of an altercation with my landlord and business partner because they were like, that's not what we imagined when we were doing this thing essentially. And I was like, yeah, but we're not using it. It's a construction zone. Can't I use this? Like, what's the worst that can happen? And then they're like, yeah, but it's not like our vibe essentially.
Yeah.
And I think maybe there's concerns around
Legalities.
all of it, but it was just like, bro.
You're like, hey, like we're just providing entertainment for the area.
yeah.
Like comedy
It was-
never, because the thing that stands out to me with you guys is like comedy has not been in the Central Valley. It's not a Central Valley thing until like literally like I feel like you're saying Def Puppy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then like you guys doing your shows in the sense like yes, there's comedians who come to the Central Valley, but it's bigger and it's not like just people doing sets. You know what I mean?
Marcus would
Yeah.
be able to talk about the history of his history
Mm-hmm.
of comedy because he's the I like
Marcus is like you're completely wrong, but I'll wait,
Yeah.
I'll wait to correct you.
my
on that.
comedic career is like I dabbled in comedy in big cities but was afraid. Marcus, if I had to
Here.
characterize it, dove deep into comedy.
Let's segue to Marcus doing this, and then because offline is obviously we'll have to go get back to it.
Yeah.
So how did you get into comedy and like whatever he just said? Sorry, I did not prep at all.
Listen,
okay,
dude,
you guys,
I told New York and LA, fuck you, you pieces of shit, dude. I could do this at Queen Bean in Modesto. That's what I said.
a lot of entrepreneurs have said that at Queen Bee in Modesto, right?
Yeah, dude. Shout out Solo Bass Jake.
Solo bass Jake.
It's a very bad
He's
name.
got an extra
Shout
like
out.
on this page.
Wait.
There it is.
Yeah,
There we
dude.
go.
Fuck yeah. No, right out of high school, I didn't know what I was doing, and I was just like, I went to there was a open mic in Modesto, literally called Queen Bean. I didn't know that like you could just do stand up like that. I always thought like as a kid, especially like you're just like, oh yeah, like you see Comedy Central presents, and you're just like, that's what that is. You have to be in these big cities to like kind of develop yourself as a comedian or whatever.
And this is like 2015-ish?
This is 2016, 2017. I was 18 or 19. I can't remember exactly the day, but yeah, so then we went to this open mic, Queen Bean, and there was comedians there that were like working on material, and I was like, oh shit, these guys are like pretty funny. Like I didn't think that like anything, like any comedian could be born or like.
Hey, it took me until you go into an offline show to think that wasn't a thing in the Central Valley.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Oh,
So
right
I would see random posts about comedy things going on, like at bars and stuff. But I guess in my mind, I'm like just as an ignorant person, I was like, how good can that be if it's just at a bar?
If it's at a bar,
locally, or like, you know what I mean? Like, because comedy's not a thing here, though. You know what I mean? Like it's not really a thing where like L.A., San Francisco, there's clubs, there's things that you can go to. Sacramento, you can go there and watch it.
Yeah,
and it's like an actual place of business.
I'll say this: the biggest thing within the 209 that really did everything for comedy is the Deaf Puppies. It was just like a comedy coupe of people that like that were like pretty funny. Like they were the only real funny people out in the 209, and
because the other ones that were funny left.
Yeah, I mean they did to some degree.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
but I got you.
No,
to some extent.
I was only talking about myself.
Some do.
But there are like some like Marcella. She's like one of the only 209 comics to like really break free from the 209. That she's doing spots at like at midnight and shit like that. You know, so it's like there's like some type of notable comics that are coming out of the 209, but they just didn't have
Bruce
like
Gray.
actual.
Bruce Gray's
Bakersfield.
I know, but that's the Central Valley. This is a whole
okay.
Central Valley.
Well, then yes,
you know
correct.
What I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, because like, dude, Bruce Gray's fucking Super Bowl commercial is so ridiculous.
Oh, dude, yeah, this is fire.
I just,
it's fire
dude,
as fuck.
it's so, yeah.
And it's insane.
I was like, why does that guy look so familiar to me? And like, then I remember he posted like a down version of it up, and I was like, "Are you supposed to be a penis?" Because it looked like the head of a penis. We'll put up the photo of this. What Bruce Gray looks like in the Super Bowl commercial.
That was one of the coolest things that ever happened. Is that the week prior to him being on the Super Bowl, he did an offline. And then I was like, "Yo, low key, kind of hurt my feelings. You didn't tell me." I was like, "That's so fucking cool." Like, dude,
that's a huge.
But
get,
he didn't want us to like, NDA 100%. But watching the Super Bowl, I'm watching, and I'm like, dude, was he just at a laundromat with us? That's insane.
Yeah. That's funny.
It's crazy. The 209 does have a lot of talent. The Central Valley in general has a lot of talent. And I think that the main message that we're trying to get across is that like not only is there talent within like the 209 and all these different places in the Central Valley that we can make it a hub for stand-up. Because, I mean, people want to do our shows.
Dude, this is like a halfway place for halfway house.
Halfway home. It's a halfway home.
I mean, there's if you see our recent promo with meth, okay, you guys. Sorry. No, but like a lot of people, it's like I was literally talking today to people. I was like, how there's so many hotels in Merced, and then someone's like, I mean, their name's Gateway to Yosemite, so anybody going from out of town is like stopping here because it's at least 2 hours from their final destination. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. And I was like, oh, I guess that makes sense. But like, I don't know why I said that.
No, I think I do. I think I
That we
understand.
don't have a market?
Yeah, exactly. It's
because
like why people are coming here and stuff like that. And then I go on. Sorry, you go.
No, because you're saying you're like, why is it that it's a pit stop and it's not like a destination?
Yeah,
it's because there's nothing out here to like. There's no staple to what.
There's not the bean, the Chicago bean. You know what I mean? We don't got no bean.
Yeah, there's no queen bean in Merced, dude. No,
Yeah,
but
sorry.
anywhere in the Central Valley, really.
I want to quick aside. It's also because
This whole thing is sides. Go on. That's what my podcast
our
is.
cities are designed around drive-throughs, and like we're a transit-oriented like thing, and it's like, hey, city council, local people. Design.
Are you talking to yourself?
No. Design it like people live here and want to stay here and want to live in it.
Yeah.
Don't design it around vehicles going elsewhere.
They're passing
and
through.
everything they design is like, oh yeah, we just got to cater to the 99 to get people onto it as fast as possible.
But the catch is it's going to be as slow as possible on the freeway.
If you get people somewhere, everyone there really fast, it's going to slow things down.
Yeah, dude, it's so stupid. Yeah, you. You were saying what I was saying. You're like, what you're saying about the 209 is It's a place. It's not a pit
It's
stop.
a scene.
Yeah.
We are
There's a scene. There's a scene here for sure.
But like, but I feel like you're saying. So you came into it like 2016ish, right? We'll say.
Yeah, but
that was
okay,
just
back
go
into
back
the
to that.
original,
Yeah,
and the original thing where it's like it was just kind of like pretty much the deaf puppies that were like the only ones that are really putting a name to themselves. Like for example, Sal Trujillo. Shout out Sal Trujillo.
He's big right now, right?
Yeah. Well, he just got what was it? The night with Colbert. Yeah. And he's one of the few comics from the 209 that has his name on the Comedy Store. Like he just got passed as a paid regular, and it's just like there's talent that is coming out here, and I'm so like grateful to have him as like a mentor and stuff. And like there's comics that are just like, oh, like move out to this place, like you know, Austin and LA and New York are the big kind of like staples within stand up. But it's like, why not just try to make our area another staple? And sure, it's gonna take a very long time to make it an actual staple. I think that, but even just being an area to where like it makes stand up important is like
that's awesome. Yeah,
it's gonna
and like you're changing the culture in the sense of like, and the thing is, like comedians and other people all have like their thing of what they think of when they think of the Central Valley too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
100%.
So I just think it's cool that you're like bringing actual change in the stuff of like.
Dude, and the fact, and I'll say this about the Central Valley as well, is that we know that everybody makes fun of us.
Yeah.
Right? We all have that, like, we
make fun of us.
We make fun of us, but we do it in a way it's like, yeah, we know that everybody makes fun of us. Dude, you get like for example, we fill up rooms with like 100+ people. Everybody is a comedy fan, dude. Like, we want dope shit.
Yeah, everybody, the comedy is everywhere right now too. Like podcasts. Like I would say, like 65% of ones that people listen to are like comedy ones.
100%.
Like you know what I mean.
And to the statement about our audiences, we have comedians that play all over the country and world, and comedians consistently talk about how much they love performing in the Central Valley. We are a great audience.
Dude, because you were not the like, we're not liberal, we're not conservative, we're just like the mix of. I mean, we're more conservative, I guess, but in the sense of California wise. But you know what I mean? It's like we're just like the perfect mix of like we're not. I feel like we're not so easily offended either.
Yeah, we're like right there. We're
right
open,
in that
we're
healthy.
Open to
we're
all
that healthy
real,
like
you can win us over, or you could start having defending Scott Peterson, right?
Seriously, I legitimately think that like the Central Valley is more like, dude, are you funny or are you not?
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where your like standpoint is whatsoever. You could be the most liberal leftist or the like the more like to the farthest to the right.
Dude, my favorite thing watching comedy is like somebody going up and I already have a preconceived notion and like, oh, I'm not gonna like that. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. It's just like I don't know if it's my judgy personality, just in general of like I guess I'm like I know who I think is funny. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I get it.
I'm a dude I like dude humor, blah blah blah. But then I love seeing people like change
your mind.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
Change your
I'm
mind.
like that person's fucking funny.
And
like, you know what I mean?
That's the beauty within stand up is to be like, hey, I know you probably won't think I'm funny, but watch this real quick.
Yeah,
you know, it's like it's dope.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And so, but like, how have you said from 2016 to now? Seeing it grow in the Central Valley, because like I would say like 2016, maybe there's open mics, but like
there's
I'm
open
sure,
mics and stuff.
but like not too much more than that at the time.
Yeah, well, no, I mean there's open mics and stuff, and then like we would have to travel 100%. Like all of us comics that were like in the 209, we'd have to travel to these bigger scenes to get booked on shows or just get paid or just kind of get insane. Yeah, but
reps.
now like as the years progressed, especially since the Deaf Puppy Comedy Club has opened,
and that opened when again, like a year ago.
It was their
1 year anniversary.
It was their 1 year anniversary last week.
That's dope.
So not only that, but just like in general, there's so many producers out here in like Modesto, like Merced, like everywhere that are like doing comedy shows, and they are constantly like making this like huge market for stand up. And I'm not trying to be like that, but we hold ourselves to like the highest quality of producers, I would say. I think we're the highest quality producer in the 209.
Well, your shows are different too. Like, you know, the whole vibe of it. You know what I mean? The whole secrecy, the whole.
I think experience, like I love comedy, obviously.
Does everybody need another beer?
Okay, yeah, we'll wait, yeah.
Bro, you ever wear a suit from Dapper Man? It's a total game changer. They've been voted best men's store 2 years straight, and it shows. From everyday suits to once-in-a-lifetime occasions, they've got you covered. And when it comes to weddings, there's no one else I'd rather trust. No rentals, no guesswork, just real fits from people who actually know what they're doing. Remember, whether it's a job, a wedding, or just because you want to show up looking sharp, they've got you. You can reach them at 209-285-2424, and they are located at 3507 Tully Road, Suite 310 and 320, next to Mr. T's Donuts. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Dapper Man isn't just a store, it's a suit lounge. And it's not called Dapper Man for no reason, because you're going to be there looking dapper, man. It's that time. Declutter with ease and reclaim your space. Welcome to Be Junk Free Merced, where Scott Livesay is your go-to guru for hassle-free junk removal. Tired of tripping over unwanted items or feeling overwhelmed by clutter? Scott's got your back. Unlike other services that leave you with the heavy lifting, Scott swoops in and handles everything himself. Say goodbye to clutter and hello to the refreshed space. Reach out to Scott today for a quote, and let's make sure your junk disappears in a snap. You can reach him at 209-233-1519.
So like I think with like a lot of comedy shows, I love comedy. I'm a big fan of comedy, but I also like really sensitive to like experiences, and I'm like very thoughtful about the whole thing from the beginning to the end to the after,
and
like,
the whole atmosphere, the vibe of
everything.
it, right?
The customer experience.
Yeah, I used to work in user design on like product design stuff, and that's how you have to think. You have to think about like, is there any point of agitation or anything that makes things pleasant? And if there's agitation, you have to eliminate it. And if things are pleasant, like do it. Yeah, just like make the whole thing seamless and exciting. And so like with the shows, I think of things in that lens. I'm like, okay, what are memorable experiences? Because it's not enough to just be there. Like we're competing with the internet, which is like the most captivating thing. It's you look at your phone and it's a clearer definition than our reality usually, unless you get like studio lighting.
You're right, yeah.
And so like we're having to compete with that all the time. So I'm like, okay, I have to make it something that's like a little bit scary, a little bit like silly, a little bit fun. And you're just like, and you're like, oh, is there a back door we can come through? And then they're like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And the kitchen, can we go in the kitchen? We did a show once where it was at a gym. It was a first one after we got kicked out of my location. We got kicked out of the location, and I got the gym secured, and we're like setting up for the day of the maybe like a few days, maybe a week before the show. And then I was like, what's this door here into the gym? Because originally we were going to come through the front of the gym.
And just come right in.
And then go straight to the back room where all the stuff was. And then like we're setting up and I was like, what's this door? And then they're like, oh, that one just goes to our neighbor business, and it's a boutique. And I was like, oh, that's it. And so I sent them, like they went down an alleyway past the store, and then they went into,
it's like speakeasy, right?
Yeah,
I feel like that's the vibe, is like
100%.
a speakeasy. We're going something underground.
Yeah.
Like underground comedy, basically.
100%.
Right? Yeah.
Like, and they went through the boutique. They went out into the like storage area. They went down a little like hallway into like where the woman there would sell or like would do her online sales stuff. And then they would hook a left. And then they're like, where are we going? And then you open up into a gym that's already like set up with, and we had Aaron Aguiar, was my friend and like a designer, did like this weird backdrop that the comics described as like Dr. Seuss's pubic hair. It was like this green,
weird curly,
green shredded weird plants and stuff. And it was like anything you can do to just be iconic and absurd and memorable.
Just different. Memorable is the thing too. Like just make an experience that people aren't used to.
Right before our last show, we were at the barber shop. The people putting that on were like, they're like, hey, can you guys put this into the storage space? Because it was our green room was a little storage space. And it was this woman's like mannequin thing, just the head, you know how barbers have it. And I was like, I know just the place for it. It's today on the stage. And it's just like, go ahead and put that stuff there. It's just imagery.
Yeah.
It's something that like occupies people's minds, makes them ask questions.
Pulls
like,
their
is that
attention.
significant?
Yeah.
And you're like, maybe. I don't, probably not.
Yeah.
But I had like old computers I found in my dad's attic, like old Macs, and I like painted on them and with the stencil of the Offline logo, and I turned the thing on so it was just kind of flickering during the performances.
That's sick.
I brought a log from my house, like a big wooden log, and my partner Taylor back then, he was just like, "Why are you doing this? You're literally adding extra weight to your like plate, like." You're adding a burden to you. I carry this big log, and I was like, because I don't know. I think it's important, and it's gonna add something because the other stages don't have this, and it's gonna be like, what, and why? And you're like, exactly, because
it starts a conversation.
Yeah. And it's just like it captivates people.
That's his whole studio. It's like I just need something in every corner. I just need something that's just like, that's like, like something that anything to be picture worthy. I want everywhere to look any which way and be like, I got to take a photo. I got to take a photo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a cinematic lens. Yeah,
that's cool. And then so from there, like how have the shows been in the sense of like beginning, like maybe like. If how's like one of maybe like your worst shows or whatever versus like or smaller shows, you know what I mean? Whatever, like not that expectations to like where it is now and where Marcus came into the picture.
Sure. So like at this stage, I've walked you through like the first 3, and then we just kind of popped around for a little bit, and we did. It was just gaining momentum. Like it was all primarily through word of mouth at this point. I was terrible at social media and. Like design, I had an eye for it. I knew what I wanted, but I couldn't make it happen.
You can't create it, yeah. Dude, that's like me for like half the things. It's like, bro, you should see some of my first like renditions of like this cow flag hat right here, bro.
Yeah,
the first rendition is like my logo, just like inside a cow, but it's like a square logo, just like inside a cow. You know what I mean? I was like, there's something with a cow in my podcast I can do.
Yeah, you have that to the artists of the world. You have to just accept you're not going to be pleased with your work ever, honestly.
And I was like, California, like California flag. And I was like, California flag, bear, cow, California flag, cow. But that's how my brain works. It's like little fucking things
images.
of like, let me do that. Let me see how that is. And then like, and AI help, like AI is the reason that this thing exists because like when the Photoshop thing first came about where it's like you could type in and do it. I deleted it and like how I used to know how to do like on Photoshop or know how to do on Photoshop. And then I was like, let's see if AI can create a cow.
You're going to see it close up. Yeah.
I just like it because it's like identical. It's literally identical to the California flag, but it has a cow, and like that represents literally like
us.
Literally from dude. So Tioga gave me a cup the other day, but the one I posted yesterday, but it has the whole valley, and it says from Bakersfield to Chico, and I was like, that is
right here.
That. I don't know.
This right here.
That's really my whole. I believe that's the valley. You know what I mean? And people are like, no, that's not Central Valley. I'm like, I'm just saying.
We're very territorial.
The map of California. That's everything within the Central Valley. You know what I mean? Now, is it NorCal or SoCal? You can argue everything in which way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If people in like Anaheim, like adjacent, can call themselves Los Angeles, all of that should be the Central Valley.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Culturally, we're at least of the same.
Someone raised in Bakersfield and Chico, I bet you have more similarities than someone like in LA. You know what I mean?
In LA, and then other parts of LA. There's like we have like a thread that binds, and I think some of it's the underdog. I think the underdog is heavy, and
we just grew up where everyone just talks shit. I feel like, you know what I mean?
You're the drive-through part of California. Oh yeah, I stopped for gas there once. You know how many times I've heard that?
Or just like
how many times I've said that?
Yeah. Like even like Chris Stefano on Joe Rogan when he was just like talking fucking mad shit about Fresno and stuff, and it's like yeah, we all get that, like, you know what I mean? But I guess it's just like we're like, I guess like we've been here so long, we're like, dude, there's so much more than that, and like we do see like. We literally made a whole video about fucking top 5 places to do meth. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's like, but we also do see like the beauty of it all. Yeah, you know what I mean?
And it's the culture and the community.
And it's cool to change people's mind about it.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys know who Dopest Yola is? I know I mentioned him a couple times, but he's like this big weed influencer guy that like used to do like social media work for like Raw Papers, basically way back in the day, and would make memes and stuff, like literally with photos with his phone and stuff. And now he like he's like a podcast called Dopest Yola. Dopest Usual podcast, and but like he has like Tony Hawk, Steve-O, like even like big people on. You know what I mean? He's from Merced though.
Cool, man.
And so he was like my dream guest for like the longest time, and like through one friend to another, like I got in contact with him, and like that. But it's just like he was like you know, he only believed like, or not he, but like his perception of Merced is like what it was when he was growing up, and then he moved away. You know what I mean? And then it was cool having him on the podcast and saying like, no, this is going on, and like this is going on, and like like the Castle Air Force Base has a like brewery, like you know what I mean? Like little things like like little things like that, and they're like, oh shit, like it's actually coming up, and it's cooler, and it's like cool to see those people's minds change as well. And that's like through the podcast, that's my favorite thing is like watching people like who are just like, oh, you know what, that is pretty cool. Like yeah, I see you making dumb promos and talking shit, but it's like you're creating a culture here that at least is like people can relate to.
People gave me crap about the video, and they were saying things like that were not like representing the valley well and stuff like that.
Dude,
and I was
the craziest comment that I saw on our meth video was him being like, "Fuck you, Andrew Nosrati." No, I'm kidding. No, not that. It wasn't. No, the one that really
was funny though.
The one that really got me was like someone commented and they were like, "I'm from the Central Valley. It's cool to, or it's sad to see nothing's changed." And I was like, "Oh no, like we're making fun of the fact that this is like the perception that everybody has of us."
Yeah.
But like it's so much better. Like even like we
us doing a funny sketch about it is like proving the fact that like, bro,
it was never
there's
done.
creatives here. We're doing stuff.
Comedy's role is like anybody that says speaks against us against that, it means they don't understand what parody is.
Yeah.
That means that they don't understand that the role of comedy is to bring things into the frame and make jokes about it so you can recognize it's not truth.
You also have to like go to these certain areas to really understand what the culture actually is. Like for example, like before me and Andrew came to Merced to like experience it.
It was your perception of this.
No, not to say that it was
no.
bad.
I'm just curious.
Like legitimately, I was like, oh, Merced ain't shit. Like it's just like a wash down.
I had come here and I was like, Marcus, you're gonna be like really like surprised and pleasantly surprised about the downtown like revitalization that's occurred.
It's dope as fuck. I never really came to Merced in the first place.
Yeah.
But when I did, it was kind of in the early stages of like my comedy career.
When was this? Like 2016, 2017?
No, this was probably like maybe 5-6 years ago. Maybe even
before
more.
2020 though?
It was before 2020 for sure.
No. So that's because I feel like Merced before 2020 and after 2020, it was
made that big jump.
Like exactly. Because like before it was like there were like bars that were like being worked on and under construction for like years and stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. And there was just like nothing new. You know what I mean? It was the same stuff that had been there.
Like a ghost town.
And then this one place that like would switch out every year to be a new restaurant. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know exactly what type of
you know what I mean? There's always that one place that can't figure it out. Or like the one landlord that can't get somebody that can
figure.
Yeah.
And I talked to a lot of people that were like part of that, and it's the thing that's really beautiful across the Central Valley, and in particular, like I feel like Merced, what it's doing and the investments that are being made into it and the hope for it is like how heavily they aspire to like become a real landmark city, because the future of Merced is very bright, like with the actual train station happening here
and UC Merced.
The UC
Merced thing's huge.
Huge. Dude, hella people said no to UC, which is crazy. Like Fresno, I think even like, I don't know, Turlock already had theirs. I don't know, Modesto. But it's crazy because I was like, it's so wild that Merced has a UC. And like, it's crazy what it is now, because like when you go out there now, it's like, like you can run a 10K out there. You know what I mean? Like it's big.
Yeah, it is huge. I remember it came out basically, and to date myself, I think I was the first. It was an 06, right?
You could have like applied.
I was the
there.
first one that could have gone, and they were just like, "We'll take anyone." And I was like,
yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, that makes me not want to go there." Like, you should have sent me a rejection letter. And I was like, "Man, I hope maybe next year."
Yeah.
Like,
that's funny. But so you came to Merced though. I don't know. You were saying something about it.
Yeah,
though.
no, I was just like I saw it, and I was like, even like going into the hotel you guys have here. That's
such a
El
nice
Capitan.
El Capitan.
It's such a nice hotel.
Have you guys stayed there?
No.
Oh, it's
unless
hella
they
nice.
sponsor us.
We did put comics up there though.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah, we put them up.
It's a really nice hotel. Like it's actually very affordable.
Oh yeah.
But like when you go in, you're like, this is classy as fuck.
I
Like,
bring
that's how I
every
feel.
person into that lobby when I bring them there, and I was like, "You're in the Central Valley. Look around."
That's a good selling point.
I was like, "You're in the Central Valley.
Yeah.
Do you realize that? Look at the
because
design.
it is a bougie hotel.
It's
You
LA.
know what I mean?
Most LA hotels I've been to, most New York hotels I go to, are not that good.
To me, it's so crazy because it's literally $25 more than any other hotel in the area.
Yeah.
Like it's not that much more expensive. You know what I mean?
It's wild, but it is peak. They
The ambiance, the thing, everything.
They have pencils that you can go in and steal.
No, they have nice pens. Sometimes when I'm sending the coffee thing, I just go, there you go.
Wait, hold on. You told me I wasn't stealing them
It's
when I
not
took
stealing.
them.
They want you to take it and talk about it. And talk.
He's like, Andrew's just like, hey, take those. And I'm like, no, that's stealing. He's like, no, that's not stealing. And then on the podcast, we had Marcus steal so many fucking pens.
Yeah, but just, I mean,
Shout out to El Capitan's pen specifically, okay?
I like the pencils a lot, too.
The pencil, I don't think I have experience
They're really
with pencils.
nice.
I like their pillows, personally. I have 17 of them at my house.
I've never been inside the room, but I hear it. They're good.
So besides El Capitan, what about Merced?
Yeah. I like that you guys on a pedestrian-oriented design, like you close the main street and stuff. I know. I hear that you guys are reversing that. Fuck off! Don't do it.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, that seems like the opposite. Like
That's an improvement.
it's 2 blocks of a one-way street, you guys. We can
relax.
We can survive.
Yeah, just back to it. Like city council bends to the whims of lazy people, and lazy people are not who you want in your city.
Yeah.
Lazy people, you want them to wake up and
Die.
move.
Oh, my
no,
bad. Just kidding.
I
would die really
and
quick.
not specifically here.
No, it's just like it's bad. It's bad on the on any government's part to design for convenience, because convenience doesn't lend itself to an economy that thrives. Yeah. All right, back to offline comedy.
So how did Marcus come along?
Oh yeah, so we were moving through it one after the other, and it was going really well. And then but it doesn't pay a lot of money.
So you did do a Taylor in the beginning,
yeah,
right?
Taylor Evans was my. So Marcus is like the in with comedy because he's committed. Like so much of his entire adult life has been committed to comedy and in the 209. So he's got deep roots here. Taylor's similar story. Like he recently moved out to Austin. He's crushing it out there, but.
He's a door guy at the Vulcan.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And so these guys are like just like I met them and they're like, oh, if you like comedy, you did comedy, you should go talk to Taylor. And then Taylor connected me to Marcus, and we were doing things, but I was starting to say, like, it takes a lot of time and doesn't pay a lot of money. So I was like,
trust me, I have a podcast. I understand what that means.
But it's we do it because we believe in like the future of it.
Yeah, there's got to be.
There is, and it is like, and it's happening, and I'm certain of it that. Yeah, it's in motion.
It was just I was producing shows on my own, which was like I was doing pretty well with. I was making the most money I've ever made was when I was producing shit by myself, but it was just like draining, and I was like, no one really like supports. No one's there to be like, hey, let's keep doing this. It was just me by myself making a good amount of money, but I was like, dude, I'm not having fun. I'm just stressed out all the time. I don't know what to do.
Simultaneously, I'm in a classroom. I started pursuing a teaching credential because I was
I got to figure out life, right?
I got to settle down. I got to figure this out. I got to get married. I'm getting old. I got to find a career. I've been through a lot of careers, and I was like, but I want something that's purposeful. All the things you aspire for.
And you're like, teaching seems like it's like the one.
Trust me, you did the same thing, dude.
Literally from like as soon as I got in college, aunt and uncle, anybody asking me, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm going to be a teacher. And it was just the easiest thing to say, easiest thing to just be like, yeah, I'm just going to be a teacher, you know what I mean? And then I'll just segue real quick. But
go on.
Yeah. So then for 4 or 5 years, I was substitute teaching. And so I was just like, once I got enough credit or whatever, my credits, you know what I mean? Your college credits, like I just started subbing. And then in 2018 or 20, I don't know. Yeah, I think I graduated. Dude, I graduated 2018. I graduated high school in 2011. People are like, "Oh, did you graduate with your doctorate, bro?" Maybe not 20. Maybe no. I think I graduated 2016. I don't know. Maybe I graduated 2018. That's crazy. Either way, it's enough to get like a master's degree. Yeah.
But you didn't believe.
My boy only got general ed taken care of, dude.
Graduated.
Dude, the way I graduated. I was doing like a business and sustainability, and then it was like, you gotta take calculus. I was like, I'm not taking calculus. Like, bro, like you don't understand. Like, I can't. Like, I literally just can't. Like, the only reason I passed stats is because I took it with my best friend, and he's a math major, bro. Like, and he's teaching me 101. So like, and I just couldn't do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I was like, what's the quickest route I can graduate from? They're like educational studies. And I was like, what's that? And they're like, it's basically like you're taking teaching credential classes. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I just like finished out like that.
So you did get a credential?
No.
You were. You just had to go through the
educational studies
process.
is my bachelor's degree.
Oh.
But then I went to go do my credential, and like they have all these classes,
Yeah.
right? And it's like teaching with technology, all this
Calculus.
stuff. Dude, it's not that. It's like all these different things, right? And like almost like I would say like at least 60% of it was like a class I already took. And so then I reached out to them, and they're like, well, if you can show the credentials and what the class was, like you can just get passed through it, whatever. So I was like, whatever. Then I was like, I'm gonna take my C-sets, right? Did you ever take C-sets?
No.
Oh, so I was like that close to being a teacher. I was like, if I pass the C-set, I'm gonna be a teacher. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I took it one time, literally missed by 1 point.
Oh, thank God.
And then took it again the second time, and I missed by 1 point again. And then I was just like,
wow.
2020 kind of hit. 2019 was happening.
It's multiple choice.
Dude, it's multiple choice.
Statistically speaking, like, this podcast should not be happening.
Dude, exactly, bro. I was like, damn. And then so basically that was happening like, so that must have been like 2018 going to 2019. And then 2019, I saw a video online. It was like, make a video about your dream job.
Oh, yeah,
and
you mentioned
yeah. So then at the time, I like hit up my buddy Jimmy, who like pretty much taught me everything like I know about videography and stuff like that. But he was really good at it. And I was like, hey, let's make a video. And so we like went to Santa Cruz, went to Yosemite, did all this crazy stuff. Made this badass video. Didn't get picked to win the I don't know $100,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like it wasn't even my dream job because it was like me doing nature shows outside.
It was actually creating that you wanted to do.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what
But I
you ended
didn't
up
know.
doing.
But I didn't know exactly.
Yeah.
And then 2020 happened, and I just was like, I want to get into photography, videography, and I just like immersed myself into it, obviously, because it was like I just doubled down on it. But then like by 2021, the fall of it, like I was like getting enough business to do it full time.
That's dope.
To where I was like, I was making it as much as I am subbing right now.
Yeah.
So why not just do it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it just snowballed effect into that, and then like. Through that, the podcast was born.
Yeah.
Videography, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. No, I mean, they say like once you like figure out where you're supposed to be, you just bloom. And like, it's like, I'm older than you guys, and like life, I've been through a lot of different like chapters of it. It's so nice to be in the chapter that I've been wanting to get to for a long time, you know?
The like, yeah.
Where you're like, oh, it's no longer the part where you're trying to figure out what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's now about doing it and doing it better.
Mm-hmm.
And similarly, like for me, like offline comedy for sure, like all that. And I was originally started with the like movie in the park and the street festivals and stuff. And like across the board, it's about being creative and it's about being an artist and like the entertainment, all of it, like being like the business, doing the business is fun too. Like it's super stressful and stuff, but it's just nice to have ownership of the thing and like be able to say, these are my values and I'm not going to bend on them. And this is how it's going to work. And it's going to work because I'm not going to quit on it. Mm-hmm. And so like, you're just like, I'm going to do things that people are like, why are you carrying a tree upstairs? And you're like, because it's important for this vision that one day will be made clear. Mm-hmm. And it's just super nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then so how did Marcus come onto it? Like what year?
He reignited it because I was dying in classrooms. I was pursuing a credential in like an intern impact kind of program.
So it was slow. So offline kind of slowed down for a little while.
It took a hiatus because I couldn't do it
for how long?
A year plus.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, because offline, when I first got introduced to offline, I just did like a spot at
Max Cards Gaming.
It was Max Cards Gaming, and I was just like, "Oh, this show's cool." I mean, I've done cool shows in the past, but I was like, "This is dope." Like people didn't even know that they were gonna come into this space, whatever. And then for some reason,
you on an offline show?
Yeah, we booked
I was on an offline show just randomly. Like it wasn't like I was just a comic.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like you were just like,
booked talent.
and so you got to see the perspective of the comics coming into an offline show too.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like you were.
And I was like, oh, this is like a
different,
dope.
right?
Yeah, and nothing like this is in the 209 at all. Like
maybe
there's nothing.
anywhere though. Honestly, what I sent you. Remember what I sent you? It was like they're bodegas. They're doing comedy at bodega.
Show. Yeah. I've seen those in New York. And
New
York.
But that's what I just reminded. That's the only thing I've seen that's like, that's even close to. I don't know.
Yeah. So a buddy of mine, Pete Muniz, he does a show at a liquor store
Yeah, I've
and
seen
it's
that.
it's crazy.
Yeah, no, but so it's like a similar vibe, but like
but there's
very
so much
unique,
more.
yeah.
There's so much more work that goes into it when we do it. So then when go ahead.
No, I will say like the distinction. Like there are companies that do speakeasy type things in music and comedy and other things. I was just like the only real distinction I think that I can create between those other things is I believe it's like part of like a counterculture movement.
the offline portion.
Yeah,
of it.
like because it's not. I love comedy. I love experiences. I love artistry, but I also love like humanity and like the moment. And like the mindfulness is a huge part of our shows.
Yeah.
I give like a talk to our like volunteers and stuff before every single time. Be like, when people walk in through the space, they need to be like seen. And like, and you need to be here. If you feel yourself like drifting apart, going elsewhere, whatever it is,
that itch that you have to go to your phone
you're
to
here.
feel uncomfortable, like feel uncomfortable. That's the whole point.
Yeah. And then settle into it because you're in trusted company. You're in the space you're supposed to be. They need to like know that like that this is all of it. This is all of life right here in front. This is like what we're experiencing.
It's
right
a good
now.
reminder, honestly. That's the thing, because like I think that's what made me like feel like this offline. My first offline show was like so cool. Was like, oh, like everyone's present.
Yeah.
And like no one's ever present ever.
Yes.
Like even in your house,
Yes,
anywhere.
dude.
You know what I mean? And like it sucks and it's sad. That's the reality of it. But
Preach, brother. Preach.
but it's
Ooh.
it's sad. It's the reality of it. But it's just like cool that like there is a space. You know what I mean? And so that's why like with creating the studio too. It's like it's kind of maybe like it's I don't know. I just want to create a space that's different and it's opposite of the norm. But like.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I just want to do something where it's like not even like I don't even want to like host things with like a lot of people. It's just like I just want to do things that are different and that people can talk about and be like, oh, that place is cool because they do different.
Yeah.
Shit,
And the second I heard about you, like I was just like, dude, that's so cool. Like,
So we randomly ran into
Yeah.
each other one day, like a serendipitous moment of like, and he
With
was like,
Freddie
and he was even like, I do comedy stuff.
before Freddie Mercury.
Before Freddie
Yeah, when
Mercury.
I saw you outside the street.
Yeah, I was like literally filming for
operating a drone.
I was doing for El Capitan, the
Yeah,
hotel,
yeah.
right? And I was doing this hella cool, like my favorite mini documentary I've ever done, like for like this celebrity chef that came in, blah, 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 all this stuff, right? And then like Andrew's just out there working at Hi-Fi Wine, and he's like,
Yeah.
hey, like, and then you're like telling me, and then you're like, say like, oh, I do comedy shows and blah, blah, blah. And like, I was literally like,
What?
I don't know what this is. I was like, yeah,
This guy's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I was
dude.
just like, no, like, trust me. And like, they're whack if you're doing them. Like, that was like my mind, though. You know what I mean? Like, because then you hit me up again, like, about doing a podcast in Hi-Fi Wine. And I was just like, I don't, like,
For
the thing
what?
Is, it just, yeah.
Why would I
like-
want to do that,
I
dude?
was like, if you guys gonna pay me, like, I guess, like, because my mind is like, I don't do like them to the public mostly. You know what I mean? I've done
And
a couple.
They honestly should pay you.
No,
Because-
yeah, exactly.
because-
That's what I feel like. I'm like, if you want to do a live podcast, it's got to be in something for me.
Guess this costs money, and then that costs money, and this is time.
Mm-hmm.
And like for the business owners that are at all affluent in any
And
capacity,
if you're asking me, like,
yeah,
you know
to
what I
do
mean?
a thing, artistry and creativity are undervalued. I see it every single time I'm involved in a project. It's because it's an intangible asset. But go ahead and book a show
Mm-hmm.
and try and put butts in the seat, and you're not going to be able to do it.
dude.
yeah.
That's why I'm like, give it to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, every show is just like you're like we don't even want to make this fucking promo, but we're making it because we need to sell tickets. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's just like you have to, and it sucks, but that's what it is. You know what I mean?
Well, I want the comedians.
We cut you off.
No,
Marcus.
yeah, your experience.
No, but
I want you to that moment that it stuck with me when you and I talked outside. Do you remember what you told me?
Outside of
The show you were booked.
so where
in?
was your show booked at? Like, what was your experience like going into offline?
the Max Gaming.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I said. I was pretty fucked up.
It was so
Well, really
disappointing.
stuck with Andrew.
No, dude. Yeah. No, I don't.
He comes up to me. I'm kind of like a chicken with his head cut off during shows, running around to make things happen a little
And
bit.
you were doing
I do remember now. I do remember
Okay.
now. I said, dude, like, I love what you're doing. Like everything that you're doing. I was like, I know that you probably feel like you don't know exactly what's happening and you're like scattering around and everything. I was like, you're doing it the way that I feel like a producer should be caring about their shows. They should be like kind of panicky, like, is everything okay? You did it in a way to where it was like, I do remember this conversation now.
Yeah.
Also, yes, I was drunk, but
But you remember it.
I remember it
and
now,
it's stuck.
dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do remember having that conversation, and then so
And at the end, the last thing he said in that conversation was just like, know that you're really good at what you do. And like at that point, I honestly did not know what I was doing.
Or you don't feel like you know what you're doing.
I
You don't
have
feel
no
like you're
idea
good
what-
at
yeah.
it. Dude, that's like me in everything. Like with filmmaking, with photography,
Yeah.
with everything. It's like, because sometimes I'm like, do I know what I'm doing? It's just the imposter syndrome of life, of like saying you do this, but then like people are like, then do it. And it's
Yeah.
like, I've done it for so long that it's like muscle memory, but it's like, is it even good? Like, you know what I mean? That's what I think to myself. Yeah.
And the first time I saw Marcus was at Queen Bean, and because he was doing a setup there, and I went with Taylor. And I remember like afterwards, I was cracking up. I saw the guy perform, and I go to Taylor. I was like, who's that? And he was like, that's my buddy Marcus. And I was like, dude, he could be on late night. Like it was just like he's tight, he's funny, he's comfortable. And so confident, and he's so short. He shouldn't be that confident.
yeah, dude, you should feel insecure all the time. You dumb piece of shit. That's the main message I wanted to get across that guy.
I know, but it was just like good. It was like I was like, that guy's in his element. That's awesome. Taylor, same thing. Like someone, I want to do comedy. I want to grow in it. I'm not super. Sometimes I'm fucking killer on the mic, but I'm not comfortable by nature. And so like seeing comedians in their element up there, I have so much
more
admiration.
confident, and it gives you like, it kind of gives you the boost of like you're around the culture of it.
Oh
too.
yeah,
like
yeah,
so
yeah.
like
and to be accepted amongst them
Yeah.
is so nice. Like because I was on the outside looking in, not actually. I was in LA. I was in a scene where like a lot of successful people came out of my friend group, and I was just scared. And then I got old enough where I was like, don't be scared. Like you're gonna die happy. Or at least, yeah, and the only way to do that is to do the thing that you're supposed to do.
Or just overdose. Either way, dude.
Marcus.
Yeah, dude.
Bro, wasn't that
Shout out
edit?
Mac Miller.
Wasn't that edit?
Don't
so
you
good?
ever disrespect my boy, dude. He was laced.
Oh, dude, I know it was. That's so sad, dude. I'm so sad about that. I'm still sad about that. That was
Sorry to
2016,
bring it
right?
down.
Yeah, wait.
Bro,
doing this podcast.
I was subbing a 7th grade class. Mac Miller died. I found out going to the restroom. I came back and I was like, you guys, Mac Miller died. And they're like, who? And I'm like, Mac Miller, dude.
They're like, oh, that.
Yeah. And they're like, okay.
Am I the coolest kid in this high school class right now?
No, dude, it was 7th grade. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I just feel like all the 7th graders were like, you mean that old ass fucking bitch?
They're
Exactly.
sweet at that age.
I know.
Yeah,
And the fact that he was only 27 and they're like, you mean that old man?
That old 27, about time.
I'm like, I guess he is a couple years older than me, but that's crazy. And then, so Marcus had that moment with you.
yeah.
And then how did like the idea, like, did you reach out to Marcus? Marcus,
me.
right? Okay.
He calls me one day.
Yeah, so
Tell me.
Yeah, after like producing my shows for a while, just like random, like I was doing this show in Salida, California. Are you familiar with Salida?
Is it Salida or is it Salida?
Salida, if you're fucking cool.
The D is
Or if you're Spanish?
Yeah, no.
Salida.
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 I call it exit. That's what I
Salida.
call it. I call it exit. I'm like, exit California, you down?
Where's it by?
It's only about 10 minutes away from Ripon, California.
Oh, the water tower.
10 minutes south of
You see Ripon Water Tower.
Yeah, you could see it from Salida.
Oh,
like
okay.
100%.
Yeah.
So I was
They
growing up-
probably hate that. That's how we describe them.
No, actually, they
there's
don't. They
nothing-
don't. Because a video of me saying Ripon, California, the only thing I know about Ripon, California is that they got a great goddamn water tower.
Yeah.
Got like 250,000 views on fucking Instagram.
Yeah, it was
So
just.
they
it was-
fucking love their water
it
tower.
When I was on the council, we had a water project. I was like, is there any way we can make it a water tower? That'd be good for our economy. And then they're like, they don't do those anymore.
Hey, are you looking to boost your business without the cost of purchasing an expensive ATM or dealing with processing? Cal Central ATM Company has you covered. They provide free ATMs, yes, that's right, free ATMs to businesses like dispensaries, liquor stores, gas stations, barbershops, and more. Reach out today and ask about their wireless card readers. Save money and streamline your transactions with ease and without the card reader fees. Let Cal Central ATM help your business grow. You can reach them today at calcentral23@gmail.com. With personalized care, experienced therapists, and a focus on helping you move better and feel better, Valley Performance Physical Therapy is the go-to spot for all your rehabilitation and wellness needs. They don't just treat symptoms, they get to the root of the problem so you can get back to doing what you love, pain-free. You can reach them at 209-626-5350 to schedule an appointment and are located at 1180 West Olive Avenue in Merced. You know you got to support local by spending local? Trans-County Title is your only locally veteran-owned and operated title company. They have been serving Merced County since 1985 and are ready to help you with your next escrow transaction. By choosing Trans-County Title, your dollars stay local. They are members of local organizations developed to support and improve our community. They offer amazing marketing tools to their agents to better assist you with a smooth transaction and also provide you with the best customer service. Because at Trans-County Title, our service is the difference.
What do you mean they don't do it?
Yeah, they're on the ground now. All right, go on.
That sucks.
I know, it's just
Mic drop, dude.
My limp. Like
so there you are in Exit, California.
Yeah, in Exit, California, and I was producing these shows called at this place called Tapped Apple, and I was doing like a monthly showcase with them, and like I said, I was making the most money I've ever made. And
it's $45,
dude. 50. You better watch your fucking mouth, dude. No, but it was really cool. But at the same time, like I said, I was just like, dude, this sucks doing it alone. I don't want to. And like, there's no real experience, like the comics or like whatever. And then I called Taylor, and he's in Texas, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to produce. Producing sucks. It's just like there's so much work, and it's just like I'm doing it by myself. I'm like whatever. And then he's just like, oh, hit up Andrew. Andrew hasn't done offline in forever. And I kind of forgot about offline for a second.
Shut the front.
So what year did you take off? 23, 24? 23.
Yeah, so we were doing 21. We were in 22 was basically like half the year, and then into 2023 until when we started. The first show back was August.
Our first show back, or like the first show
2024.
It was 2024 August.
Yeah,
August 8th was our
so
first
all 2023
show.
basically.
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Yeah, and then I just hit up Andrew, being like, "Hey, I don't really know."
Oh, so relatively recently.
Where you are. Yeah.
Oh, so I mean, right after I saw you in Tioga.
That's the first one we did in Merced. Are you the pie?
The pie,
face?
yeah.
That was the first show we did in Merced.
Merced, and we had probably done 4 months of shows
prior
back.
to that.
Yeah.
Just Turlock Modesto? Is that where primarily?
Yeah. Well, the first one that we did like collaborative was in my house.
Yeah. Gam was out of town.
Yeah. Yeah. We did.
How many people?
We did 70 people in my living room.
Your living
We
room?
absolutely.
How big is your living room?
No.
It's smaller than
very
this
small.
room.
It's smaller than this room. It's probably like if this room didn't have like, okay, so where the bathrooms are, you cut that off. This is the stage. This is the audience.
That seems crazy.
No, it was nuts. It was sick as hell.
The
Everybody
toilet
was hammered.
overwhelmed.
Especially because it's in a house, too.
It's a residential.
It's
Oh,
like
dude, my AC was blasting.
I was going to say, it's either that or like all windows are open. It's either one or the other.
Yeah.
That was the first collaborative like show that we did.
Yeah.
And then
And did you hit him up with that idea?
how did
How did that idea come to be?
He calls me up and he says, just like, would you be down to bring offline back? And I'm in like my substitute.
Are you
like,
still
teacher.
city council or no?
No, I'm teaching at this point.
But you'd like, so it's your first year off of city council?
Yeah. Right?
24. Yeah, 24 would be your first year off. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Get me out of here.
Get me out. Yeah. And so I was like, yeah, dude, 100% I miss it. But I'm like beat. I was in my, like, I'm maybe teaching. I'm pursuing credential. It's like I'm a subject. I'm not qualified to teach. It's a very stressful life. Period of my life. I would need like someone that's like committed to be able to make this happen. I need someone to carry some of the weight.
Mm-hmm.
And Marcus was all about it. Like the first show that we did was like entirely your production, and I showed up and you like knocked it out of the park. It was I was like, we're not even in a house. It's just.
Dude, yeah, you should have saw like the house, like that. I redesigned my house into looking like exactly like a comedy club.
Really?
Where like the entire, like you would
A
not
black box theater.
if you didn't walk into a house, you would have never guessed it was a house. I
You used
blacked
black
out.
curtains
So
everywhere?
like black
Curtains.
curtains everywhere. There was like there was lights around the entire thing. The kitchen was a bar because I blacked out the entire kitchen aspect.
You just
of
made
it.
like the table that's
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, like right when you walk in, I had a couple of my buddies. I was like, hey, you can get as fucked up as you want, just like bartend.
Yeah.
And then
make whatever. Try to make these people's drinks.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. And then other than that, there was a separate from the kitchen into the living room, and it was blacked out curtain. And then we just made the kitchen like the lounge area, like before going into the show. And then if you go into the show, like I think it's in one of our videos on our Instagram, like you can see all of the chairs like lined up, and the fact that we fit.
I know.
There was a total of probably 80 people in the house.
Yeah.
But it was
That's
in the
crazy,
showroom, it was about 70.
And we had an incredible lineup.
Yeah.
And it was just,
It was not. It was comedians that you'll never see in a
comedy
house
clubs.
Yeah.
in Modesto.
Yeah,
It made
in
no
a
sense.
residential
Detroit.
unit in Modesto.
And so when you guys, okay, so like I get the idea of pitching it to the people. How do you pitch this to the comedians? You know what I mean? Obviously, you have a track record now.
Oh,
so
that's
it's a little
easy.
easier.
That's my job. I got
But
it.
so what do you? So how do you do it though? You know what I mean? In the sense of like I'm
of
sure
like getting them
like,
on board.
Yeah. In the sense of
Oh, they don't care.
They don't
Comics
care.
don't care. Comics just want to get paid and they want a good show. That's
Yeah,
all it
and
is.
so I guess
Our
how do you
reputation's
say
good
like
now.
be like that's what I'm saying now
Yeah.
it's good, but I'm saying in
Oh,
the
at the
very
beginning.
like when you're like hey we're gonna do a show in my house.
Well,
It's
so
a favor.
you're already in the
'cause
culture, like you're already like
I've
with
already-
these people. You have
yeah,
the
I've-
connections.
Yeah,
like,
I've known all these comics for years. I've been doing it for about 8 years to where like even if they don't know who I am, I know someone that they know, and it's like there's some
a
type
friend of a friend
credit.
at least.
It's, there's a bunch of credibility.
what is it like some by separation? What is it? It's like three degrees of separation, right? It's like it's basically
yeah.
you're probably 3 degrees of separation from
all
like
of them.
from everybody.
Yeah.
So I'll say two things on that. The first one, like our first show was a stacked lineup. Like Saul was our headliner, and Saul was our headliner, and like that's because Taylor.
So I followed him. I don't know how I followed him, but I followed him like maybe just from
Organically?
seeing him
Yeah.
locally. Like,
He has
and
a
knowing
following,
he's from the central. Like I also follow everybody I know who's from the Central Valley that's doing something.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what
true.
I mean?
You got it
like
by
yeah.
from the job.
Yeah.
But like, the lineup we got was an incredibly talented lineup, and it's all because of like the sweat of being in comedy for so long that Taylor did, and now Marcus has done. So these guys, it's like a tight knit community where it's like you've slaved away at the art and the craft for so long. We've seen you push through the struggles. Yeah, you're putting on a show, of course. Like the comedians have said afterwards as a headline, it's like, Marcus is doing it. Yeah, I'm in. Like that's it.
Yeah.
It's like that's how you get that.
There's also like one thing I love about the shows, and this happened the last show that we did, is we had a comic, 10 different girls
No.
came up to this comic and said, I will show you my tits.
Just how do guys have like that charisma, that fucking
His
like
joke asked them to show it.
No, but he said he's been doing that joke for like the past year and it's never happened. But in Modesto, 10 people did it. And I was like,
Good job.
fuck yeah, dude, Modesto rules.
Good job, Modesto.
Yeah, good job, Modesto. Way
Yeah.
to
Show tits.
Whoa. There we go. Yeah, Modesto.
Tits.
Here's
Duffy.
Fucking Duffy, dude.
Dude,
Shout out
Marcus
Duffy.
shout out Duffy and almond season. Marcus doesn't believe Duffy exists. Oh yeah, but you
No, he does.
No,
I've
yeah,
seen him.
yeah, you've
I've
seen
seen him
him.
in sweatpants.
I've seen him too.
yeah, I know.
But Duffy, come on. You would have been so comfortable on that couch.
right here, it would have been. I was thinking to put another chair right there, and then I would have to. I can make it wider.
Oh, yeah,
I was thinking
yeah.
about faking that door right there to be like a stained wood door. You know what I mean? Like paint it brown and like make it look distressed or something
you
like
could
that.
expand,
And
yeah.
you could be like, "Wow, how long what is this door
How many
scene?
doors? How many people have walked through these doors?
Not that many because they were put in before. They weren't here when I first saw this building.
How many people have these doors seen dead?
Yeah. So the first one was in the house. That was fun. This is how all of them are, bro. It's like me like trying to like remember what's going on.
No, he was just referred back to the trip, and I just acted like I was thinking you guys were gonna murder me. That's what just
We are gonna murder you.
We're gonna murder you right now.
I knew it. I'm over my
I wish I
trauma.
had like a deep voice button and I could be like,
Deep voice.
we're gonna murder you.
We're gonna murder you.
It's not that convincing.
People are listening to this in their car like, what the fuck is going on? So it's just fun to hear your voice in a microphone in your in your ears. That's what's going on right now.
Next time you do the vape pull, that's what it says.
Just like- so then your first one was in the house,
N-word.
but then how do you like become a partner in it, really become invested in it? Like it's like, hey, let's do a show at my house
yeah.
first, right? Let's
So we did the-
let's bring it back, and then how does your conversation about actually going into it?
I just hit him up. We did the show at my house, and then I went. Well, so the show at the house was wasn't the conversation of us like working together, like me and him as like a partnership.
It was more just
was like, hey, let's do
let's
this.
do it at my house.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I like your vibe of like
yeah,
comedy.
exactly. And then I went and did my own production for a while, and then after that, just kind of like was depressed about like what I was doing. I was like, yeah, like it's cool, but it's like I'm not cultivating a comedy audience. I'm cultivating like just like people who liked me or something in the 209. It was cool. Like I had like that's
Version of
what-
the choir, like, dude, you like, I like that's how I feel with like all these followers. It's just like, yeah, it's cool, but like I would rather have like a culture behind it or like
Exactly.
an environment where people can relate to versus like
people like
you're
me.
a funny guy.
Yeah,
you know
so
what I mean?
I was more of like I didn't really want to necessarily like showcase my talent. What I wanted to do was recreate something with someone that like really cared about the culture. So then I called Andrew off a whim, and I was just like, dude, if I would love to like do offline with you if that's available. Like I would love to like just like partner up and just kind of do this thing and like
Yeah, and
go full like pedal to the metal. Like let's fucking make this shit happen and everything.
and there I was, like taking the call, and I was like, "Kids, settle down. I got an important business call."
This guy's pouring his heart out to me right now. And
I was in the shower actually, 100%. Me and Andrew do a lot of shower calls,
Yeah,
but it's
we do,
only
actually.
it's actually just me in the
Most
shower.
of our business meetings, Marcus is in the shower.
I love taking calls in the shower.
How long do you shower?
About 35 hours. No, I'm just kidding.
Except during drought season.
But do you shower like more than how long?
Probably like 10 minutes.
Oh, I guess that's average. That's
I'm pretty
average.
It's also not true what he said.
Which part? Me reaching out to you? Yeah.
Attention Central Valley farmers, agribusinesses, and dairy owners. M-Mig Construction understands that your operation is the backbone to America's food supply, and they're here to help you thrive. They specialize in designing, fabricating, and erecting high-quality structures tailored to your needs. Rooted in Atwater, the heart of the Central Valley, they bring unmatched expertise, efficiency, and craftsmanship to every dairy, ag, and commercial construction project. Whether you're building from the ground up or renovating an existing structure, they work with you to turn your vision into a reality. Call M-Mig Construction today at 209-724-9488 or visit mmigconstruction.com. Trust a team that values quality, reliability, and has the trust of our community. You know what I love? Vanessa's Ice Cream Shop. And for 20 years, they've been serving the sweet taste of tradition. They specialize in authentic Michoacan-style ice cream and paletas. Elias Figueroa learned the craft in ice cream shops across Mexico, and now he brings that same passion and tradition to our community here. Visit Vanessa's Ice Cream Shop at 7020 Walnut Avenue in Winton, California, or 710 Carroll Avenue in Merced. And remember to treat yourself to something truly special. Vanessa's Ice Cream Shop.
The origins of offline.
All again.
It was a Marcus coming on. Was it you doing a first show?
Oh yeah, I just basically said that what I did was I called you and you were like in class being like, let
Yeah.
me take this call.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. And so like the reason.
Hold on real quick.
Great. The reason like I was like 100% like what Marcus put into that first show, I was like, this guy cares a lot and like is gonna pour himself into it, and that's amazing. Like I pour myself into it, and if like you can multiply that, like you get another partner that believes in it.
That's like Duffy with me in this podcast. It's just having somebody be like, I believe you. And this year I'm gonna like kind of put an open call, like a free intern. You know what I mean? In the sense of like, hey, if you want to be a part of this, let's fucking like make it better. Let's have somebody taking photos during the podcast.
Can we share an intern? Because we're gonna get an intern. Yeah. I don't know if you can use a 40 or how many hours an intern would do, but it'd be cool.
Is it free?
It is. I'm looking into like, because they could get college credits. I was an intern at Conan, and this is great experience for college age kids to know that anything's accessible to them. The only reason like I even have like any understanding of all of it, because I got to see like that live entertainment.
So how did you end up? And this is a giant segue, but no, how did you end up in New York? So where'd you go? You went to school in like Santa Barbara?
Santa Barbara. Lived in LA for a long time.
After Santa Barbara, you went to LA,
and then I got like my big boy job. I was higher up at like a tech company over there. And then that tech company, most of our workforce went remote. I used to work out of an LA office, and some of our workforce was remote domestically. And then they went international. I trained the people internationally. And then, when I was in one of our big clients was in New York, and I was coming out of a relationship in LA, and I was coming into the end of a lease in LA, and I was like, where do I want to live in LA? It was originally what I was thinking. And then I was like, why am I restricting it to LA? Like literally, like only one person I kind of work with still lives here. The clients are elsewhere. Our workforce is elsewhere. I don't have to be here. Where do I want to live? And I was like, I've always wanted to live in New York since I was a little kid. And so I just called my boss that evening and I said, hey, here's my thinking. Time zone wise, it's better for me to be on the East Coast because a lot of the people I'm working with that's more convenient. Our biggest client is in New York. I could go and like hang out with them, develop a better rapport with them, all that stuff. And like I've always wanted to live in New York. I would be happier out there. And then he's like, let me think about it. And then I called him the next day and I was like, I'm serious about this. The lease ends in like a few weeks. I would love to just sell everything and move. And he was just like, I mean, I think it works. If that's like what you're thinking, if that's what you want to do, we'll make it work. And so I was just like, okay, here goes. I ended up getting like a short-term lease back in LA, and then got my New York plans figured out, and then moved out there, and got to live like 2 years of like my prime in my favorite city.
That's cool. I went to New York for the first time last year, and it was just the coolest experience. I literally got a full free trip by I had this dude on the podcast named My Guy Market in Fresno. He makes like bodegas, chopped cheese sandwiches. That's his whole business, but it's a ghost kitchen. It's literally kind of very similar to offline of like, it's like he has his own app. You order from his app. You drive up your car. He walks out the sandwich to you. You leave, like basically. Awesome. And he had this whole thing like, hey, we're gonna take one person to New York. Just buy a sandwich. You'll be entered to win. And I just bought a sandwich and I just said like, hey, I'm not gonna like, I live in Merced, but like, don't donate it to somebody else.
Oh, and he hooked you up.
Yeah, and then he like, dope. I hooked it up, and then we went to New York. And
Did you document it?
Him and his business partner. Yeah, I still have never made a video out of it, but I just took photos and stuff because like my thing was like I've always wanted to go to New York.
Yeah, dude.
It's like the perfect place to take photos. It's just a fun, cool environment. You know what I mean? And we went there and we got like the full New York experience. We're like literally like in Times Square at like fucking 2 a.m. Like we literally like our earliest night in was 2 a.m.
Yeah,
like, we would say out.
Sunrises
we went to Korean barbecue at 3 a.m. bro. Yeah. Karaoke at 4 a.m. bro. Like it was just cool. Like the city literally never sleeps. It's Gotham. You're there. It's fucking everything. Cool.
That rock vibrates. It energizes. It like inspired me in like a civic way. It's why I ended up on city council, because I was there during like the peak of like political unrest in America, and seeing people get involved, I was like, I was pulled into it, and I didn't realize that that's like something that you could do, that you could like protest and you could rally and you could organize. And I started volunteering on city council races and all that stuff. And when I came back got pulled back into Turlock, I was like, which councilman am I going to volunteer for? And then I met the council people that were going to run. And I was like, I should beat this guy. And I like him a lot. He's a good man, but I was like, I'm young, he's old, he doesn't know my community, he doesn't know this world. And so I was like, I should run for office. I don't know why I don't think I'm the candidate. I don't know why I think I'm a volunteer for this man.
You know what Andrew got passed in Turlock?
What?
Weed.
I did.
Oh, really?
I
was there. Actually, the funny thing is, so you were in 2020. Oh, 2020, I moved away from Turlock at the fall of 2020. But like, I was like, I remember being the first, when the first dispensary opened.
You were the first customer?
No, I wasn't the first customer. But like, I just remember it because everyone would have to go to PCF and Ceres.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
PCF was like the only thing in Ceres. And
I said that on the council. I was like, I don't know what you guys think you're doing with your like high ground, your moral high ground. That you are losing millions of dollars and you're in a deficit. You're deficit spending, and there's millions of dollars available. And you've had reports run, and the consensus is you're doing nothing to restrict the consumption of it. And this money can be used. And I was like, let's reallocate all the money to youth drug prevention programs. I don't care, but like bring that money in and then regulate it and do something good with it. Because every person I know that smokes weed just drives a not that far distance outside of our city limits, spends the money there,
and comes back.
So you're just being like stubborn. You're being idealistic. You're not grounded in reality. And I didn't. I wish I would have said it that eloquently. Yeah. Although I would have made even less friends if I said it that way. But I said all that, and I was like, no. Like they were trying to delay it. And I was like, I want this to be brought to a vote. And I was like, bring it to a vote. We have the votes. And I was like, I want it on the agenda in whatever the minimum term was. And then I was like, it's gonna pass. It's gotta pass. Put these people.
And ever since then, Turlock's just been
gone downhill.
Turlock's just a bunch of stoners that don't do anything with their lives, dude. They end up at Utter.
They end up at Utter Bar, dude. Dude, you guys remember Red Brick though? Did you go to Red Brick? Dude, Red Brick,
the first club.
Red Brick in Turlock was the shit, bro. From like 2012 to 2018, 2019, whenever it finally got shut down, bro.
They had a dress code. I remember.
They would be like, hey, you got to get a dress code. You come in, and then they'd be like, kick you out, and then you'd be like, all right, I'm gonna go back in. And then you go back in the front. You just go in the front, and they're like, all right, you're good to come in.
Dude, story on that. I was living in LA when that was happening, and I came to Turlock, and I remember not being
like, wow, this bar is fancy. They serve hookah.
No,
two tables. Yeah, remember that? Outside. Yeah.
I remember I was such an asshole, like. LA bougie idiot where I came back to, and I still kind of feel this way when I go to Utter, but I came to Red Brick and they had a dress code and they were like enforcing it against me, saying I couldn't get there. I was like, who the fuck do you think you are? I was like,
I don't need a collared shirt to enter this place.
You don't need what kind of place has turns people away? And like, I'm just trying to go out and enjoy my evening. They're like, you have to wear a button. I was like, how many buttons? And they're like, at least 3 of them. And I was like, so I went home, changed, and came back, and I was like,
only with 2
you
buttons
probably
too.
had the night of your light at Red Brick that night. You know what I mean?
I was angry the whole night.
Isn't it crazy? We could have all been drunk at Red Brick together, like one day. You know what I mean?
Oh, maybe
You know what I mean? Like just at some point. You know what I mean? Like you're at the bar, or like you know what I mean? I'm like walking past you. I'm like, who's that guy dancing with that chick? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
who's that guy with 3 buttons?
Yeah, it's 3's all this guy can afford.
They're in the middle too.
It's not even at the top. You're
no,
like,
you just have 3 buttons on your fucking
on the
crotch,
bottom,
dude.
You're like, I got 3 buttons. They're the pants, the jeans that have the buttons. You know?
Yeah, but it's really Velcro. It just looks like buttons.
All right, Mark. Back to Marcus coming along. So you guys did the house show, right?
Yeah.
And then he was like, let's do it. Let me be like a part of it.
Yeah.
How did the ball get rolling though? You know what I mean? How did you guys like come back?
What was the first one after the house show? Do you remember?
The house show was the end.
Rooted.
Was the end of like your pretty much just doing it by like with just Taylor and then I like came along or whatever. And then I called you later, and then in August, it was before August, but I called you and I was like, hey, I can get a crowd. What do we got to do? Like, let's just fucking make this work. And then, dude, we literally Andrew was just like, all right, it's me and you now. Like let's just fucking figure this out. Andrew was walking downtown Modesto and was like, dude, this venue is perfect because it's in the middle of nowhere. I've a Rooted Movement. Shout out Rooted Movement because they've been a big supporter of us.
What do they do?
They're a gym out there in downtown Modesto.
And Marissa at Lucille's were turning me on to that.
Yeah,
because I just wander the streets when I have to like find spaces. I like to get on the ground, and I was just walking up and down blocks, and I was like, I gotta find something weird. I went to like weird industrial spaces that looked nice, and I got a lunch break at Lucille's. And I was talking to Marissa, and I was like, "This is what I'm looking for." She's like, "How much space?" Blah blah blah. And I describe it, and she's like, "Why don't you check out Rooted?"
Yeah,
and it's like it's a little walk down the street over here. It's they're good people. They're like all about. I think they'd be in.
Oh, dude, actually, I should probably tell this story. I didn't even think about.
Oh yeah.
Okay, real quick side note: Lucille's is one of the best sandwich places out there. Bill Burr, when he decided to do the State Theater, he went to Lucille's and was like, "This is like
I saw him in his post." Yeah.
And so like,
where is this at Lucille's at?
It's
on
off
what
of
street?
J?
Yeah.
No, it's not off J. No,
H?
because J is where the State Theater is. It's one, I believe, north. Okay, find that out. I'll tell you the story about Rooted Movement though. I've never been able
go
to
on.
tell.
I just feel like I sorry.
It's 128 or 1218 H Street.
No.
H Street. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
1218?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Okay. I literally went right past it today. I
Dude,
picked
you
up
gotta go.
at 1216 H Street. I picked up this couch today. And he
Nice.
was like, "Oh, this is Lucille's down here."
Yeah, you gotta go.
It's a blah
So
blah
good.
blah. No, but
It's so
just
good.
when you said that, I was like, I feel like that's familiar, but I don't know.
It's
But that's
probably-
actually.
I
I was like,
think-
it's probably far fetched. I actually think it's the right one.
And as like somebody that lives in New York and LA, like I go to places in the Central Valley and things in the Central Valley, and I'm like, these would kick ass anywhere.
Yeah.
And Lucille's would kick ass anywhere.
It's just like the detail.
Yeah.
It's all in the details.
Yeah.
So what happened with Rooted Movement is so Andrew's just like, oh yeah, I found this venue, the very first show that we've done together. It's like me and him. Rooted Movement, we go there, we have a meeting with this guy. His name's Rick. It's, Rick is his name. He's the owner of the Rooted Movement. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Like we're gonna go to this venue, we're gonna hang out. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever. We have this meeting. The meeting is not necessarily a meeting because he is like, hey, this is the only time that I have to really talk to you guys, but I also have to train someone because we're it's just how
So
scheduling
like you're
works.
talking to this guy while you're training
A business
and not
meeting
only-
while he's like stretching, training, all that stuff.
You're like, all right. He's like, all right, 5 more reps,
breathe,
and then
breathe.
he's like,
It's
yeah.
some fat
what were you
dude.
saying? Yeah.
But he's like just to set up the context of like what the scene is he's probably like 20 feet away from us. So there's no the room is like the acoustics are nice. The acoustics are nice enough to where like being that far away from each other, we can still understand each other, and it's not awkward. But it is kind of a funny situation
Yeah.
where it's like we're having a business
Yeah,
meeting
we
with
were
you
like,
right
can
now.
we get closer?
Yeah. And then he said no.
Yeah, it's like
No.
I'm in business.
Yeah.
He's on personal training right now. You're like, it's not very personal if you had a business meeting scheduled at the same time.
Yeah, it sounds like he might be your partner for some reason. Give it up for Todd. And so we're having this business meeting or whatever, and it's nice. Like he's being very respectful. Like we're getting everything that we need to go when it comes across of like just like the logistics of like being in the space and just everything that we need to go through. It has been conquered. And then I tell Andrew, I'm like, dude, I think I know that guy. And Andrew's like, oh yeah, how do you know him? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like a very familiar face. And Andrew's just like, all right. And then so whatever. It's just like whatever. Like I can't figure it out. And then I go up, I shake his hand. And then Andrew's like, so where do you think you know this guy from? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know a guy named Rick who's in his like 40s. I don't know.
How could I possibly
know who this person is? And he's doing like we're both looking at each other, and he's not giving me the look of like being like, I think I know you too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not gonna be weird. I'm just gonna like let this happen. And then when
They fucked once.
twice, and he never called. No, but so we're both walking out of the venue, and then some guy that's like a regular at the gym is like, hey, yo, Ricardo, what's good? And then I look at Andrew, I'm like, that dude used to fuck my mom.
Yeah.
And he,
Yes.
dude, the guy used to like date my mom, and I lived with him for like a year. And then this goes like untold.
Long time ago. How many years? Like how old were you?
I was 5 years old when this
Yeah.
happened.
Oh,
So
so,
there's
it's
no
like
way
a
he
vague
wrecked you.
memory.
Dude, a vague
of,
memory, like, it's like
this
it's
guy's
hazy. It's
personality, this
hazy.
guy's way he talks. You're like, this
And
guy's
then
familiar.
I'm taller than him now. It's weird. And
I don't know.
Barely.
yeah, it's impossible for someone to be funny.
Yeah.
But so then I'm going through the motions. I'm like, holy fucking shit, like this is nuts. And I'm like, and I tell Andrew, I'm like, dude, do I say something during the show? Hey,
Can
Dad.
I
Hey,
say?
Dad.
I'm like, thanks for letting
Yeah.
us use your space.
And I said, you have to. Dude, you have
Yeah,
to.
he has to. Like,
So-
do it. Do you do it on the day of the show?
So this is what happens is
Yeah,
that
that's what I wanna know.
During the day of the show, I'm like preparing myself. I'm like, dude, I'm going to say this about him. I'm going to say this about him. I'm going to say this about it. And not even in a dick way, just like, it's
Yeah,
like
like,
funny.
funny,
It's like
funny.
I got to
it's
figure
funny.
a different way to bring
absurd.
this
I
up.
don't want to be a
The
dick
fact
because
that
like
the
I don't
universe has
care.
brought this into reality is
It's-
absurd.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then what happens is that I bring my grandma to the show. And like Rick, obviously Rick doesn't know
No,
who I
that-
am
yeah.
because it's been 22 years since he's seen me. I'm a completely different person.
I mean, you're not that much taller, but yeah.
I do have
Sorry.
I do have the mustache though. I have the mustache and the alcoholism. That's what that really changes. I have crow's feet now. We're having fun. And my grandma comes to the show.
Oh, man.
And then she just looks at Ricardo and she's like, Ricardo?
Oh,
and then
my God.
and then
I didn't know this.
Rick. Oh yeah.
I
This
didn't know
is how he found out. And then he's
And
like,
he was like, "Oh, what the fuck?"
he was like, "Yo, dude, Mrs. Pevrill," like insane, like an insane like
Yeah.
a realization, and but still, he doesn't know who I am.
Yeah.
He just thinks that
The
this
she's at the
girl
part- yeah.
is
Yeah.
a part of the show.
Yeah.
I end up having a meeting. Andrew can't make a meeting, and then I go to the meeting
Oh, yeah.
myself
With Rick?
And then- with Rick only. It's just me and him.
Ricardo.
Yeah, Ricardo. And then we just sit across from each other, and I can see he's being kind of weird. He's like not looking me in the eyes.
You're like, "Oh, this guy knows now."
No, I didn't. That's how dumb I am. Is that I was like, oh, this guy's like autistic. And then
What's wrong
Did
with
I
this
not
guy?
call him back?
yeah,
Maybe this is why he didn't want us to talk closer to him.
yeah. And so yeah, I was like, he can't make contact for shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was like, he just keeps looking at the ground, and then finally, like we're getting to like this, like the contracts, and like being like, hey, can we make you like an anchor within like Modesto, like because you have been supporting, like you were the first venue for us to be like, oh, like welcoming us, and then they were just like so accepting and like, oh, like you can do offline whenever
Dude,
you
they
want.
didn't want $1.
We had asked them
To pay.
specifically. We were like, hey, like if you want like a cut of money, just like let us know what you want. They were just straight up like,
And-
dude, we believe in you guys. Go ahead.
And
Yeah.
just like the very first time I walked in and pitched it, he was so on board. And just getting people off the phone, I said that part. He was like, yeah.
Dude.
And I didn't even get to the comedy. And he was just like, yeah, that's what we want. 100%.
Yeah.
And I like, that's the kind of stuff when you're like, okay, so what you're doing is great and it resonates. And then, you just get to get these people that are just so about it.
Yeah.
And that's why you're so compelled to just make it go elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, it's the truth of what we all want. So why aren't we doing it all the time?
Yeah.
Get off your phones. I mean, and after this episode.
Yeah. yeah.
And then back to when his realization was.
Yeah.
So we're having
Segue.
Yeah.
Andrew's like, let me preach. Let me
No,
preach
no,
real
Andrew's
quick.
just like, you know that love is real. Not with Ricardo and my mom, but
It may have been temporarily, but
Yeah.
For 1 year it was.
yeah, Shadowbrook Apartments, dude. And
bro, I bet you every Central Valley town has a Shadowbrook Apartments because we have Shadowbrook.
Yeah.
do you really?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
not
dude,
even
yeah.
lying,
Shadowbrook
bro.
Apartments go crazy.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
It sounds like it's like, are we in a fairy tale or are we in Shadowbrook?
yeah. Nuts. And
Now back to Ricardo.
we're,
Ricardo was making eye contact with you.
Yeah, and then finally, like I'm just like, hey, like I really appreciate everything you're doing. Like I like to support like the brand in every way. And then he's just like, appreciate it, man.
I used to fuck your mom.
No. that I would have laughed
preferred
harder.
that, yeah.
I wouldn't not preferred it.
You've grown up.
Yeah. He's like, good to see you again, kid. Yeah.
Did he really say that?
No.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Got him a happy meal.
He's like, I
He's
know
like-
you like Dr. Pepper. I got you a 12-pack.
It's not Mr. Pibb?
I know you haven't grown out this size.
It used to be
Oh, bro,
yeah.
Mr. Pibb.
the best soda in the world.
Let's
Pretty
talk
good
about-
burger has it.
Pretty
Is
good.
Mr. Pibb still a thing?
Pretty good
Yeah,
burger has
Pretty
it. We
Good
just found
Burger
out. We
has
had it
it.
before this.
It's my
podcast.
favorite soda of all time.
I think Dr. Pepper was it, and I think depending on the finances of my family, would go to one or the other.
No, but it's the same.
It's better than Dr. Thunder.
Yeah,
Dr.
dude.
Thunder is the
Have you
Shasta.
seen? Have you seen?
I never made it to
Hold on,
that
hold on.
level.
Have you guys?
Sorry,
seen,
he's a Syrian.
A pinky out.
I don't think you
Drinking
guys.
Dr. Pepper with your pinky out.
You guys don't know Dr. Pepper unless you've seen Doctor. Have you seen that?
I was never
That's a
seen that.
legitimate thing. It's Doctor spelled out Doctor.
I like it.
That's worse
in.
than Dr. Thunder, right? Yeah, because I feel like Dr. Thunder's like the Shasta where like you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I guess if I'm at this specific
It's-
store that's selling,
it's
I'll get
technically
it.
the same
Yeah.
flavor. It's
Yeah.
like an
Yeah.
emulation of it.
But it's not.
Yeah. It's like AI.
It's the poor.
AI with
It's the poor
hands.
version of it. Okay.
Yeah.
The poors drink that.
We went through many Shasta nights.
And
My family went through.
Shasta's
Dr.
fucking
Pepper,
good,
Mr. Pibb, which there can be an argument there, Dr. Thunder, and now apparently
Doctor.
Captain Black.
Yeah. Offline comedy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
Check us out.
Sponsored by RC Cola.
Oh, I
You
wish
could-
we would do it. We would. If you want to come back.
Oh, bro,
if you
are
want to
you-
get in early.
How are you? Like, it's like I do have my values and morals.
I have
but-
none related
but like,
to money.
Yeah. Yo, my whole thing is like, someone's like, hey, we'll give you like $100,000 to just do this podcast, but like we own everything. I'm like, yeah, that's probably okay with me, honestly, because I will just come back as Central Cali Podcast, bro.
Like, yeah.
Oh,
Wait, no,
It's the same acronym,
I
same
understand that,
everything.
yeah.
like-
You
It's
register the
why-
domain though.
It's the same way that like
Register all of the various domains.
we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Before the conversation.
We're not doing that, but yeah.
Yeah, we're not.
It's like the same thing as if like Modelo got bought out. They're just gonna make a Corona. It's the same
I know.
idea.
Oh, is that what
It's a new
happened?
name.
I'm just
for-
no, I don't know,
Oh,
but
yeah, yeah.
essentially
It's
the
just
same
like a new
idea.
name.
I will
Yeah.
say this.
It's gonna be a
I
new
won't-
name, but it's gonna be the same like quality of content.
I will say this. I don't think I would ever sell it.
I guess I wouldn't sell it, but I
You
want.
would.
I want like.
I mean, for a lot of money.
That's what
but
I'm saying.
Okay,
a lot.
Let's play. Let's
And-
play. Let's
okay,
play.
My money
Yeah, I'm gonna give you
50,000.
right now today.
Yeah, today, $100,000,
No,
No,
300,000.
no.
it's
It's getting
no. No.
okay, but this is just the
I know.
okay
No.
750,000.
Okay, this is
No.
what's gonna happen. If this is happening, you know what I'm doing in my
Well,
house?
also at that time, then that means you're really like
That
like,
means you're
killing it and that you're gonna make more money.
That means
but okay, I'm saying right now. I'm
if
saying right at this moment.
If
like,
somebody offered me that means I have something worth at least 100, like 1.5 million. Because somebody's offering me 750,000, that
They're
means they
only-
know it's worth
They're
more
looking.
than that.
They're looking to see what the profit margin is, and if they're willing to give you that amount of money right now in the early stages,
yeah.
that means that our business is worth more than
Yeah.
that.
And
because they're
the thing
investing
I'll
so
say
early.
is-
$1.5 million.
Dude, I would take it. Yeah, I would take it.
Fuck you guys.
This is what I was, hey, my God, I would 100% take it, and I would hate the rest of my life.
But maybe you
I would
wouldn't
watch
have-
that thing succeed.
But maybe you're.
Or
still,
I would root
guess
for its failure.
in that scenario. Also, maybe
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
But maybe
I wouldn't
you're-
give them any
Maybe you're still
tips.
part of it. Also,
I know, that's the
You know
only
what I
way
mean?
it works.
Like if it's
That's
like
the only
that's,
way.
that's what I'm saying. Let's say someone's like 750,000.
I get
but
to
like,
be CEO
It's
still.
like you're
I get a
like
salary.
You're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you're still doing.
Yeah, if somebody wanted to do it in that way, then I would have.
Because that's what I think. I was like, if somebody wanted to invest in me, I would do it. I guess it's more. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking,
Yeah, dude.
Somebody who wants to
Dude,
invest in me, like
100%.
even if it was $100,000, but like we believe in you. We want
Yeah,
you
yeah,
to do it. We
yes.
want like
Yeah.
and they
there
just
would
want equity.
there
Like,
would be
yes.
there
Is
would
that- is that what
obviously
the question
yeah
is?
yeah like there would obviously be the contracts where it's like you guys are still partners. You guys are still in it. You guys are still getting money from it, but they're helping it grow exponentially.
Yeah, but
versus I mean, and also this is not happening.
Yeah,
I just meant like this is the
I
scenario.
thought you were offering $100,000.
Dude, people come up to me.
share.
All right, fuck it.
People come up to me and they're like, sometimes they're like, can you invest in this? And I'm like, you think I am so much more well off than I am. I don't own a house, so therefore I'm not going to invest in anything else that you guys think. You know what I mean? I'm investing in myself, but like I'm not going to invest in
this?
No, like somebody else's bid. People will be like, oh, you have money, right? Can you invest in this with me? And I'm like,
for you for money? I am.
And I'm like, oh, you think I'm really well off.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's cool. Your perception of that is me.
You should just trade your labor for like equity and whatever the fuck they want.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, yeah, I'll invest in it with production in exchange for a percent.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we keep getting a little sidetracked of this, but
Marcus,
you came on.
Welcome to Shark Tank, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm gonna piss.
Okay,
Hell
I already
yeah.
did. Did you want to see it?
Yeah.
It's just like all from my phone.
The way he kicked the fuck out of his phone. He kicked it. I think it was his phone.
Oh, it was his phone. Okay.
I think so. Just keep it on. Yeah.
This is nice. I'm enjoying this.
I like talking.
Yeah, when you can hear yourself.
Well, yeah, to some degree.
Because it reflects, like, I have no idea what I sound like most of the time. Is this what you hear me like?
Yeah.
This is a nice voice.
Is this how you hear me?
Yeah,
as?
you've got a great voice, my man.
Thanks, man. I think it varies though. Like right now, I feel like it's like, I don't know. I feel like my voice kind of like it changes sometimes.
No, okay.
When I first wake up, it is not.
Oh
this.
yeah, for sure, 100%.
You know what I mean?
But so when I played back the footage from your set and then my set at the spot, the big note that I took, I was like, Marcus's voice is piercing in that it like is clear throughout the whole room.
Well, no, it's all about
mumble.
It's all about the mic though.
Yeah. It is sexy, dude. You are killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. You are.
Before, like with just like the one, I was like,
No, bro.
Yeah, no, it looks great.
there, but it's not.
We can't hear anything you're saying.
Yeah, I kind of. I know. He said what?
I gotta pee now. I'm gonna take a shit.
You better.
Yeah, that's the only way you can fucking shit, dude. All right, let's talk shit about Andrew. Pretty easy topic.
Yeah. If I do say so myself, that guy. Assyrian is where?
Feminine.
Assyria is where? Is Assyria.
Assyria. So us. Oh, great. I get to get the Assyrian audience in.
Here, we'll just cut right here to the Syrian record.
So I'm Assyrian, and
You're like, you just opened up a can of worms.
no,
You're
but
fucked.
I, this is what I'm gonna say.
Dude, when
but-
he told me that we're Christians, I was like, the Christians are not gonna like that, dude.
Yeah.
Like they are not gonna be a fan of Assyrians. Like when you said that, I was like,
It's funny.
because as soon as you said that, I was like, the Christians are not gonna like to hear that, bro. Like that's
Yeah.
like,
I'm using that on stage. if
that's
you don't
fine.
mind.
That's
Okay.
fine. You just got to be like,
shout out.
All I ask is like at some point, like
I'm doing it right now. I stole that from this.
Yeah. I'm Assyrian and I'm Christian, and they do not like that.
Yeah, that's good. They are not gonna like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so like I think a lot of the gay element of like I think
Of you, go on.
yeah.
He's trying to categorize every Assyrian person to how he acts, but go on.
My best friend in LA used to play a game, Middle Eastern or gay.
Oh.
Yeah, literally, because he was.
It's such like a not what is it called, like taboo
guys-
right there, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
like you
So
do
do you
not
guys
want to
have
be.
like a legitimate thing to where it's just like a stereotype for
Dude,
you guys' culture?
have you seen us dance?
I went to a. Oh, so I went to. Fuck.
not
Okay,
that bad.
what else is that like that? But I went to a wedding and I filmed it, and it wasn't Assyrian, but they were. All they were doing is and they're-
Indian.
Oh, no,
no, not
Oh, the
Indian.
money dance.
Yeah.
the money
No.
dance. And they're just
Oh, yeah.
they're just.
That's called a gay wedding.
No,
Yeah.
it's
It's
not.
two men.
It was
Yeah.
fuck. I wish I could remember this right
It
now.
wasn't Assyrians.
It wasn't Assyrians though. It was like
Punjabi.
wasn't Greek, but it was like something
yeah, Mediterranean.
something
Yeah.
Mediterranean.
Maybe it's Mediterranean. Mediterranean. This is what I'm gonna say about you, white folks, or like
I'm half.
Speak
dude.
about what is Mark? What are you? You're half white and half what?
Mexican.
You're half Mexican.
Yeah, my last name is Sanchez, but I just don't go by it.
No one would think you're Mexican.
Yeah, because you can't.
Oh, I thought you said no one would go by Sanchez.
like a lot of people
No
do.
one would. Yeah. No, yeah.
No, I just can't even imagine that. I can't
Yeah.
envision you being you're a white Mexican.
Well, because I have like the blue eyes, but it's like Michoacan. So like the part of Mexico.
You're like
That's not how you
Canelo,
pronounce
right?
that.
Like I'm saying,
pronounce
like,
it then. That is not.
okay, that is Assyrian.
That's how we pronounce
Stupid
it.
bitch. Yeah. We call it Assyrian, dumbass. Don't
They
call
are not gonna.
You are the
Assyrians are
ass
not gonna
in
like that.
Assyrian. That's what you. Yeah, that's.
yeah, you're
You
the
are
ass
ass in Assyrian.
Yeah. No, yeah,
If anyone
Michoacan.
roasts me, that's
It's like
what
they're the lighter skin.
Bro,
it's
I've
also
been
because
obsessed with the
Spain.
Mexican song. Sorry, go on.
Well, it's just because Spain. So
This is what happens,
Spain is
like-
white.
Like an hour and a half into the podcast is I can't fucking concentrate. Sorry, go on.
Oh, we're an hour and a half in.
We're 2 hours in.
Oh,
Hour
jeez.
58. Yeah.
All right,
So we
we
basically have like another 40 minutes from here, basically.
Jeez.
Oh, no, that's like our max. You know what I mean?
And the thing, we could be.
We could
come
be-
back.
Yeah, and we could go. I mean, I
We
could
will.
I
We
could
will
just
come back.
switch these SD cards and we could keep going.
I think I would love to come regularly.
I like how to think that this is like a protect our parks type thing. When we're
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah. There we go.
We're 6 hours in. We're like, you guys want to listen to R. Kelly?
Oh, dude, I literally, dude, Duffy, me and Duffy share a notes app of season 7 of Central Valley Podcast of like, so I have like a list of people that like are ideas to get on, right? So like Bruce Gray's been on there for like literally like a year and a half, right? But like there's a list of people and there's a list of promos, right? But I didn't know Duffy, like I recently shared it with him, but he gets updates when I update it, right?
Oh.
And so he just got an update the other day and I just said like Confessions Part 2 was a crazy ass song. And then he just like called me and he was just like, bro, like he was like, I thought I was like in your diary or something of like what was going on. Because it gave him a notification. It was like,
Yeah.
Micah put in Confessions Part 2 was a crazy ass song. And he was like, but it puts it like at the top, but it's not at the top. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was just like,
most recent update.
yeah,
kind of thing,
And he was just like, what is this, dude?
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
notes? Do you do a note?
Oh,
shared
no,
note?
yeah, on a
okay.
shared note. Yeah.
Dude, I would not like anybody to see like updates on my personal notes. I know that it's like the Central Valley Podcast, but like you're just like
But
doing
I
it.
didn't even think it was like,
I know.
yeah,
That's the thing.
yeah.
If there was a shared note between me and Andrew, and like it was like an offline, but I was like putting personal shit in it, Andrew would probably want me to kill myself.
This is a thought I had like 2 days ago. I was driving and I was like, up until this point, I don't know that anyone knew the pin to my phone until you. And I was like, that's cool. In a theoretical world where I were to die, my notes would be released. Like, I want you to go through them. Because
I'm not gonna lie, I forgot the pin.
you'll figure it out. Or you would get blocked out of the phone probably.
I would get blocked out of the
Yeah,
phone.
that sucks.
It's one of those things that you don't know.
I think I can figure it out actually.
Hey,
give me
it's
give me
363256.
Oh, dude, my like how I shouldn't say this online.
It's okay. It's an
Yeah.
edit. You don't have to publish it.
No, well, the thing is,
He's like, it's live.
No. The thing is, I'm editing it, and I won't remember to cut this out.
Never mind. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
yeah,
6.
Exactly. I know exactly. I'm saying, I'll remember about the breaks, but like as far as like the
Yeah,
conversation
that's
between
true.
it, it's
I
like
don't
so
care.
hard to like and then make a flow. You know what I
I
mean?
want if
Well, okay,
I'm
all
ever
my-
found
all
dead,
my-
unlock my phone and read the voice memo or hear the voice memos, hear the notes, because that's what humanity is. Humanity's not pretty. Humanity is a struggle, and and it's like thoughts that often don't make sense. But then there's gold in there, and like who's gonna go through all of it except for the people that love you? You know.
Yeah, that's true. And like all I'm saying is all my passwords, or I'm not gonna say what it is, but it is literally my. You remember when you were at lunch as a kid and you had a number?
Oh, the pin.
Oh yeah.
That is my 4-digit pin for
pin.
everything.
Oh.
It's
A lot of
boop,
mine.
boop, boop, boop.
A lot of mine stems from the my college pin ID or like my perm ID.
I just use my social security number.
which happens to be.
6. But okay, I don't know where we are in this. But besides what we were talking about, serious
Rick,
and
we were
stuff.
talking about Rick's story. Yeah.
Did you? Yeah,
Rick story?
Did you
Yeah, we
finish
finished that
that?
one, I
Yeah, you
think,
finished
yeah.
the Rick story, right? Yeah, you did.
Well, yeah, he said Yeah.
Marcus
What's in your hand?
I was just scratching.
Yeah.
You're like, what is this real quick?
Okay, let's get the audience back. All right, guys, and we're talking about something interesting right now. I want you to be captivated by what's about to happen.
Wait, no,
next.
I didn't finish it.
Oh,
no, you didn't?
No, because I didn't tell you what he said to me.
Oh,
That's why I was like, keep going.
Yeah.
Grab my phone.
So during the meeting, he's doing his autistic thing. And then he's like, hey, just to let you know, like, I know we have a past. And I wasn't even like pissed about it. Like I was pissed. I was pissed about
Like
it.
internally, like in a weird way of
No,
like,
I was pissed about it because he brought it up before I could on stage.
yeah.
And then I was like, dude, it's cool. Kind of mad you brought it up right
Yeah.
now because I was gonna
Gotta
make it
do
a
on
thing.
stage.
And then he was just like, no, I just hope that like there's no bad blood. And I was like,
He's so
do you really
nice.
think
so
like
nice.
after
For 1 year,
22
yeah.
years of life, I'm gonna be like,
that guy.
this is where I get
Yeah.
him.
Rooted is a terrible establishment.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even love my mom forever. Like,
I remember like looking back on it too. Like I was like a piece of shit kid. Like
you're
100.
5.
Yeah, no, dude, like 100%. Like there was like times where I was like, okay, so like there's obviously kids that are like good kids. I was not a good kid. I remember he would come over, and I would like purposely think that it'd be really funny to like hit him in the nuts. Every time that he'd come over.
bro, yeah.
But it was like funny.
And
But
It was
you're also
chill.
5, so that's your sense of humor.
That's
in the
so
sense
funny to hit someone in the nut. That's funny right now.
Bro, we like, dude, I like in junior high, like I'd be like, I like a girl. There's another guy
hit
that's
my
like
nuts.
flirting. There's another guy that came to like a youth group fellowship thingy, and he's flirting with this girl that I like. And then he tries to like little bro me, and I just turn around and kick him as hard as I can. And this guy is like a foot taller than me. I just kick him as hard as I can in the nuts. And I know I'm at church. This guy can't fucking touch me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I do that, and then I'm just like hanging out with the leaders, and I'm like, "What's
Yeah,
what's
dude.
up?" And I'm like, "Don't fucking talk to the
you're
girl
like-
I
you're
like right
you're
now."
like, dude,
Okay, she doesn't know I like her, but I'm gonna punch you in the balls in front of her, dude.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit older, and I'll tell you, if you just make it long enough alive, you're eventually going to believe in yourself because you're just like, I'm still around and I'm still doing what I want to do. And so if you just persevere in it, this is like what you're doing right now is incredible.
I think it's because I take a 6-month break, so then it feels like I'm like when I'm in the mode of doing podcasts, I'm going and I'm talking to people and I'm doing things with the community and I'm like showing things.
Tell
and
me
expressing
again what you
things.
did in 6 months. Did you have a kid?
No, it wasn't that. It's just like I always do like the podcast in a 6-month season, but I almost feel like I lose the. For the next 6 months, it's like I make promos, I do funny stuff, but it's just like I need a break. But then sometimes it feels like it's too long of a break.
No, dude. Because what you come back with is times X, times 10. You know, it's like you have a studio.
Yeah.
You know, you have
And it's like a legit studio now,
dude,
too.
unreal.
You know what I mean?
It's,
Like,
it's I lived in LA. I lived in New York. This shit hits anywhere.
the crazy thing is, I thought there were these type of sets in San Francisco and stuff. I looked on like Pure Space and all the apps. It's like there's not like sets, like in the sense of like there's a room with a backdrop. There's a room with a couch, like a aesthetic couch and a window. But there's not like a lot. Like LA is specifically, there's movie sets, there's things you can rent out and stuff like that. But like as far as anywhere else in California, it's not that. And I thought there was like going to be more in the area of like sets, like a 90s room, a diner, a vintage era. You know what I mean?
When I was in LA, the only place I would see anything that looks like any of these corners is in a studio, like a legit studio. I was on the WB lot, and like what you're doing right there is miniature
exactly.
lots.
But like in a smaller city, it's like a big lot. You know, in the sense of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, like, yeah.
It's a miniature version of a WB studio, where it's like there's this corner, there's this area, there's
it's
that.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm very
I've just
good for you, bro.
Thank you, because I'm going crazy. Keep doing it.
No, you're not.
I was like, no, I'm doing it though. I was like going in the sense of like there's a lot of doubt in the process of figuring everything out, and then like overwhelmed of like business and paying for it, and
dude.
the payoff.
We're not
and
making money.
Yeah, like
that's what people need to know. Like,
we're doing this because it's fun. it's fun during the process, and like you guys get to see the best parts about it, but you don't get to see me like stressing out about stuff.
Yeah,
like
I love that you actually are showing it.
well, I started to on social media because I was like, fuck this, bro. Like people think it's so easy. They think like I got it together and figured it out. It's like, bro, I'm just trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
and like
that hits for me. For me as like as a human that's trying to do it too. I'm like, yeah, that's what social media should be. It should be a reveal that like nothing's pretty.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we did in your guys' studio. Is me and Andrew basically, well,
oh yeah,
I mean, like that was like
like
in the studio was a different like vibe, and then we were like, dude, we need to just like express that like shit isn't easy, dude. Like this shit sucks, and like
bro,
people
like,
are like thinking that like, oh, it's like, oh, we're doing amazing stuff, or we're doing this, or we're doing that. It's like, dude, half of the people that are like saying and giving compliments, like they don't even go to our things. Yeah, so it's like you really have to like express like, dude, this shit is hard. Without the support of the community, then we are nothing.
Dude,
so like,
when I made that post, like a lot of my good friends like reached out to me, and it's just like because they don't see that like I'm fucking like, you know what I mean? It's like I'm not hitting them up. I'm just like focused on doing this, blah blah blah. But like it was like it took like me being expressive online for my good friends to like reach out and be like, hey, dude, you good? Like you good? You know what I mean? And that like finally I was like, oh God, I feel good. Like I feel good that my friends are reaching out to me. You know what I mean? But it was just like until I was like. Brutally honest, like, bro, I've been fucking crying and fucking sad about this. Like, you know what 100%. I mean? Like, because it's fun and it's awesome. Like, when people come here, it's like, of course, I'm like, yeah, it's awesome. Look at this corner, blah, blah, blah. But like, when I come here by myself, bro, sometimes I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, there's so much to do and I don't know where to start.
No, you keep doing what you're doing because it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, and that's what I'm like, too many people believe in me for it not to work out. That's why I keep like, and like, I have cousins and friends that like, they don't have to be as nice as they are. And they're like, hey, like, I like, you know what I mean? Like, they like people who hire you for shit, bro. Like, bro, you believe in me.
You are a
like,
sweet person. Yeah, the Ricks of the world. You know, like anybody that like sees you sweating and they know there's tears. You know, write that like, down. That's fucking beautiful, Andrew.
I hate that he does that. Every time he says, just let it live in the moment. Don't be on flying, dude.
Because I see the words when I say them.
Yeah, I know. He always constantly in the car. He'll be like,
"That was good."
Oh, I know. He has so many car thoughts that are like beautiful, right? Like
he'll be like, "Hey, dude, Michael would love this." And I'm like, dude, just let it be in the air for 5 seconds. Right now, he wasn't thinking about either one of us. He was just like, dude, my brain is sick.
I love it. I love the brain.
That's so fine to love your brain, but just be in the moment exactly what your message is.
This is the moment. We're still there.
You said write it down.
I know, but it's because
for the next podcast, he wants to say it.
I say it because we're all gonna die, and the only thing that will survive is our words.
Exactly, as it should.
And the more I think about like my podcast and everything, I'm like, bro, if I like would like sporadically die, like this is like what's left in the world of me. You know what I mean? It's cool. Yeah. There's a lot of things and a lot of people I talked with and stuff like that, but then it's just like your own self thinking about it. You know what I mean? Of like,
it's like a Mark Maron's bit where he said we're all permanently logged as content.
Yeah. And it's like, and like literally I'm thinking about the rest of my life if I were to die as content. You know what I mean? And isn't that like a crazy thing that like it's become so ingrained with society that like that
content is pretty much who you are.
It's your imprint. To somebody.
But I will say, like, the thing that's incredible about offline is that it's not captured to some degree. Like, even
it's a memory.
Yeah, and I know that's saying whatever. Everyone knows that to be true, but it's like the moments that those spaces create. For myself, for like the comedians, for anyone that's involved, for I hope every guest, like I think it's a memory, and that's all we want. We want beautiful memories.
Yeah, I agree.
And like getting people to think like, and I think the offline part is like the giant part of it because it's like then you become aware of your surroundings. You actually remember things where it's like if you don't write it down and like Monday through Friday, you know what I mean? And then the next week you're like, what did I do last Wednesday? You can't remember what the fuck you did. You know what I mean? And so it's just like about like the experiences that like, it's almost like doing everything as a, not even a checklist, but it's just like, I use a checklist as a like remembrance of like what you've done. Cause it's like, I've done a lot in a week, but like, if I think back to it, I'm like, oh, I can't even, I don't even know what I did this week. You know what I mean?
Like gratitude exercises and stuff. If you can incorporate that into your life, into your day, it memorializes your life experience. You're like, what was I thankful for today? When people say very generic things like their health, their family, and stuff like that, I'm like, you're not getting there. Like, find a moment.
Like this specifically, like, what was the best part about today?
Like when I looked into my nephew's eyes, like right before the sled thing, and he was just like scared, and he grabbed the thing, and you're like, that moment, that's gonna hang out. That's gonna be there forever for him too. Like,
especially, exactly.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of it. Yeah.
Unless he doesn't.
I see him later, and he's like, "What was your name again?"
10 years from now, he's just like, yeah, dude, snow's sick.
Yeah.
Uncle Andrew
My uncle was there, bro.
Hey, shout out Liam if you're watching this as an older man. I love you and your childhood and everything that you've provided.
And that's why we think he's gay.
Gratitude, gay as shit.
That's cool. But so offline 2025, like you're hitting the ground running. You guys have already done. How many shows have you guys done?
I don't know.
I would say
significantly
about 25, probably
25 since, I mean,
8
together?
across-
No, collectively. Okay.
Well, what do you mean collectively?
like how many have we done?
Yeah, probably around 25, I would assume.
And then another
January
like
to-
7 run before. So we're about 30 in total as a business.
Yeah.
And then how many this year though? Because I feel like you guys have had like more like week.
Oh,
to
so
week
we
to
did
week to
4
week to
in
week.
January. So we're increasing every month.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Every
that's what I'm
month.
saying. Like,
yeah.
The goal every single we're getting more and more professional with it, and like being like, okay, so what's the next stage? What is our next area of growth?
Yeah.
And like, well, okay, we did our first back-to-back, and that was hard, but we did it. And how could we make it work?
like
cleaner.
a week, because then you can get comics to be here for 2 days.
Yeah.
And
It all just makes sense.
double
to make
everything.
to make comics do runs is kind of like the goal. So
But-
then, I mean,
We could be like, hey, we got 2 shows for you this weekend.
Yeah.
if you want.
Exactly.
And the idea of like people like Marcus that have been working on comedy for a very long time from our region, being able to go and do runs everywhere.
So what is your perspective, like being a comedian from the Central Valley, being Central Valley based, right? You know what I mean? In the sense of, I just feel like that's obviously very different than an LA comic, than a New York. And there's not spots available for you to do every night, right?
Can I speak to LA comics and New York comics real quick?
Yeah.
Most of them are not from LA or New York.
No, I don't think
And
they're
that's-
from there.
And that's the thing that makes it different here. Mm-hmm. There's
they're going to the hubs. You're saying,
They're people from all over the world. They're all like people.
These people
that
are-
believe that they're the funniest people in their town.
and then they
get a
migrate
rude
and they
awakening.
they migrate and they realize that they're not as funny as they used to be.
It's just like businesses. It's like it's easier to be a big fish in a small pond
Yeah.
than a big fish in a big pond, because like the big fish in the big pond is like the Dave Chappelle's. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that's like
it's all relative. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
And I will say this: I think Chappelle could hang out here and have a good time. I don't. I've been in rooms with like celebrities that are like I hung out. Tom Hanks was in a green room with me before, and like having had the exposure to the stars of Conan O'Brien that are coming in there. The thing that like that did for me is make me realize
They're all
that-
humans, huh?
Yeah.
And they're all just people.
Yeah.
They've come from the bottom. They've
Yeah.
come from the small
Yeah.
things, the
Yeah.
big things. They just
They're
want
all us.
Yeah. They want something that's different and experience.
Yeah.
That's
Some
like,
of them-
the
yes.
billionaires in New York.
Yeah, some
are
of them like drink kid blood, but other than
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
they're pretty much cool for the most
I
part.
was never invited to those parties. I was always.
You were
I
trying
was
so hard. You're like,
Hey, do
Mr.
not-
Hanks, please.
How
I'll
do you
do
stay so
anything."
young?
Yeah, I'll bring a kid, and then you try to bring me, and they were like too old.
Pedophilia.
back to Marcus.
Speaking of pedophilia,
Like being here, you know, and being a comic, like
Yeah.
it's way different. Like it's got to be.
Well, I mean,
You travel and stuff, right? But
yeah, like able to get like yourself into like certain like communities. You do have to like what I love about like being in the Central Valley is that we can go to pretty much any scene within California at a reasonable like time frame. I mean, unless you're doing like LA, like you're gonna have to make a trip out of it.
Yeah.
But like there's so many different comedy communities within like our area that are only like about an hour and a half away. I get so fucking annoyed when a comic is just like, oh dude, like I'd love to do that room, but it's like 2 hours away. And I'm like, dude, you're
so
so
you don't
fucking
care about your passion or your dream.
Not only that, but like you're just so like spoiled.
Yeah.
And you don't like, it's like you don't want to do stand up. You want to do it in the comfortability of like when it's convenient for you, which is fine. I get it to some extent.
No.
Like I get it to some extent when it comes to pay. I
Yeah.
think I understand that.
Oh,
like it's
yeah,
like it's like, oh, I can't do it
But that
because like
being
it makes
said-
no sense for me to like travel.
That being said, if you really believed in it, you would do it. So get off the stage
To
or
some
commit.
like,
Get off the
fair.
stage or commit because the other people
yeah.
that believe
It's not
in
always going to be a like even like this positive isn't always this podcast isn't always in a, like a cert like I'm not in the positive of my money.
Yeah.
In the sense of like
Yeah.
same thing with comedians, I'm sure it's like yeah, it doesn't make sense for me to go, but if it's exposure to a different crowd in a bigger
Yeah.
area in a different environment, it's like
Yeah.
If you believe in what you're doing, then you'll do everything for it.
The first like 5 years of stand up, and I won't even say that I'm doing it professionally because I'm really not. I try my best to get as many gigs as I
Imposter syndrome.
can. Well, I'm just saying like in some aspects like where like I believe in myself to some degree in stand up, but I can't justify me going to San Francisco for one gig for $30.
Yeah.
It makes
Yeah,
no
yeah.
sense. It makes no
Seriously,
sense
yeah.
for me to do it, but I'm still gonna do
Yeah.
it because like I want, like
Yeah.
I love.
you're
I
doing
love
what you can,
stand-up.
but you're not going to do it every single time. You know what I mean? Like
I will do it every single time because of because I just love stand up. But then I get like so for example, like I'm the booker for all the shows for offline, and then I'll hit up some comics and then but this is the thing is that like sometimes they're like, oh, I can't make it doesn't I can't justify
The
traveling to Modesto, Merced, Fresno for these gigs for X amount of money,
yeah.
which I get that. I get that to some degree, but it's like, dude, I would do that all the time, you know, unless I'm like fucking an actual name, then it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I get it. Like
Until you're
whenever-
being booked, you should be
but like
seeking
a lot of
bookings,
the like, but that's what I want to make the Central Valley aware of is that like we can produce runs for these comics that like normally wouldn't come to these areas
Yeah.
and be like, oh dude, okay, so for example, you wouldn't drive out here for this, but like what if I can give you 3 dates?
Yeah.
What if I can give you 3 dates
And
housing
3 full rooms
full
that are the
rooms.
best rooms you've done in a year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
To where it's like you're getting exposed to a crowd that like doesn't experience good stand up, so they're more grateful.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, dude, we didn't have to go to we didn't have to make a day out of going to comedy. Like I could just be like,
Yeah.
It was just a Friday night.
It was
thing
a
or
Friday
Saturday
night for me.
thing.
And
yeah.
the hospitality element, like, so my dad produced entertainment growing up, and he would bring people from like the big cities into our small town for the the Syrian community, and like the hospitality element is a big part of it. Like, bring the talent in, but you're not just like paying them and they're arriving. You're making them feel good in the same way that I make the guest, the audience feel good.
you want them to experience something
Yeah,
that was
they should
pleasant.
feel like talent. They should feel like
Yeah.
artists.
Yeah, that's another thing
Yeah.
that we try to do too. Is that
Yeah.
like we accommodate to the comedian because we want to appreciate that their time is valuable.
Yeah.
It, like their time as a human already should be like appreciated.
They're committing to artistry, and it makes no fiscal sense to do anything related to artistry or creativity. We have proven it. but because we still do it, it proves that it's still like redeeming and it's worth it, and that it's life-giving. Because I'm like, I am a better person despite my finances because I'm committing.
It's hard to live in the moment because it's like I feel like America is so driven on like, what do you have? Do you own a home? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? What are you doing with your life? And then like, I feel like anytime I've been to another country, it's just like, they're all living in the moment. You know what I mean? It's not the social media
True,
world that that we live in. Like when I visited my cousin in Portugal, it was like, everyone's just living here and now. And it's like, let me call my friend, let me hang out. Like we all got off of work.
Yeah.
It's not like we have to make all this money and own these houses and do these things.
For sure, man.
But here, it feels like it is. It is like what are you doing? Oh, you don't own property and you're this old and it's blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Like not the counter to that, but like the pocket you're creating and the space you're creating is a new reality. Because in our reality, I don't care what home you own. I don't care what your finances are. I care like who you are and what you're doing and how much you align with the person you want to be.
But it's hard to get yourself to think that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I
Like, 'cause that's the
know.
hardest part of like,
Oh, yeah.
of like having a family and stuff. It's like, fuck, you
Oh
wanna
yeah, because
provide
you got
for-
new pressure.
Yeah,
that's
exactly. And
different.
so it's
Yeah.
all this like, then
The only
that's like,
person that's dependent on me is Marcus.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just saying, yeah.
Well, I'm
dude.
like, I got a wife and a kid at home, and I'm like,
I get it. Humble
crazy.
brag.
Yeah,
Dude, Andrew has to think of like, oh fuck, how are my kids doing? And then it's
And I
me at
call
my
him.
house.
And like, Marcus, you okay, buddy?
Yeah, I'm in the shower and I'm
Hey,
like,
it's
I don't think things are
Ricardo.
going too well.
That's funny. So, what is your hope? You know what I mean? What do you want
The
with
dr-
offline? Like,
the
what is your
dream-
dream? Yeah.
I'm an ambitious man. When I ran for city council beforehand, I was like, I'm gonna run for Congress. And like when I started offline, originally I wasn't clear. I started pretty humble, and I was just like, let's just do shows. But as I've been doing it, I was like, there's absolutely no reason this can't be accessible to everybody. Period.
It's like a blueprint someone can copy, right? I mean, in the sense
Yeah.
of like, it's like a
It's a mission. It's a mission.
Yeah.
And we're starting to do it in Davis now too, and we've had an incredible experience with the local comics out there and the local community out there. We're like, how can we not know anybody except for a couple people that believe in what we are trying to do, and how can we fill a room and create that experience? And we did it. We got 100 people in 1 month of like
promoting,
work.
getting
Yeah, we just do everything we possibly can think of doing and show people that what we're doing matters to us and is truth. And so like we got a room and we did it, and we're like, okay, so now I got to develop a playbook so that I can give it to another person that believes in it. And I believe that so long as I don't quit, so long as more people see the thing that I'm starting to see with materialize, then it's going to be everywhere. And I'm going to be so proud that it's like started in Turlock, California.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like a lot of people, it's like they're from the Central Valley, they're from somewhere, and it's just like, I mean, in the sense of, and it's fine in the sense of like they move somewhere else, they make it big or whatever. But it's like, I've talked to a lot of people and they're like, no, I like more recently with people, it's like, no, I want to represent like, no, we're from here and we did this here versus like, yeah, I'm from here, but then I moved over here and then I made it over here. You know what I mean?
So like this, it's like I think it's a microcosm, I think is the term of like everything that offline stands for, but it's not funny. It's kind of funny because it's stupid, but this is a fanny pack. And so like, it says made in Turlock, California on the thing, and it's made in Turlock. And it's this idea that I don't want to like bend to the economy as people see it and like the way it's supposed to be done. There's the coffee shop in town that just printed a bunch of fanny packs with their logo got stamped somewhere. And it's like, yeah, and they're making more money probably than I am. But I know that if I do this right, it's gonna be the thing that people want, because this was made by a local. Is it called a seamstress or a tailor? It was made by a local maker. It was sourced by domestic cotton with recycled fabric, and it's just like, it's thoughtful, and it's like that's what the economy that we need in order to create something that thrives and supports like a humane existence. I don't want fast fashion. I don't want cheap like laughs. I don't want just a night at a bar where comedy's happening in the background. I want something to be purposeful and inspired and like rooted in the thing that we all know needs to exist, you know? Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's killing it.
Yeah.
Marcus, what are your hopes for offline, huh?
I'm trying to fuck, dude. No, I'm just kidding. No, I do. Honestly, what my real hope is within stand-up in general, when it comes to offline, is to create a market or like a seed that grows into something that's where comedy can be here in the Central Valley and comedians can come out here and work and then get paid and know that like this is like a specific market to where like one, I could work on my craft, and then two, I can get paid for it at a nice rate to where I don't have to just like only work these big markets and be like, oh, this is when I am a working comic. It's like, no, you can come out to here to Merced and be like, yeah, like I
well,
work.
and then you can also give people like their not first, but like it's like, hey, we're giving you road gigs, we're giving you stuff like we're like, and it's not on the road like maybe like what you envision of like going to a different state, but like you get a tour.
You're getting booked.
Yeah, you're
another,
getting booked.
I think another thing that me and Andrew have both talked about is we also want to have the offline be like a first experience for comedy for these like new people that have never experienced like an actual comedy club, and then now their standard for a good comedy show is leveled up to where like you could see all these other producers, and I'm like and I respect to anybody who is trying to promote or do their own thing 100%. I think that's like I respect
you need
them.
other
I love them.
people. You can't like, it's like, yes, you guys want the best for offline, but in order for offline to succeed, it's like you need other things in the area as well. I'm just saying, like, you need a scene to be happening.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And I want to have offline be the standard for quality.
It's like a staple.
I think like when like dude, there's been people that have been coming up to us and they're like oh, our first ever experience of stand-up comedy that was quality was offline. Like I've had that happen to us a couple of times, and I'm like, dude, I'm so grateful that is like when they go to other stand-up comedy shows or like open mics or they do this and they do that, they're like, oh, this is good, but like offline is really kind of like where it gets serious.
And to that, like where we've extended that in like recent like street marketing kind of thing, I'm comfortable telling anyone, because we tell people on the street like, do you like comedy? And sometimes people are like, oh, I don't like stand-up comedy.
Some people are like, dude, with every stand-up comedy experience we've had, it's not fun.
Yeah.
And then we talk to them, like we get personable with them, and we're like, where did you go to experience stand-up? And they're like, we went to this like our local favorites like comedy show or whatever the case may be. And we're like, we are so confident in our product and the comedy that we produce.
A laugh for your money back.
That if you don't have a good time, we will give you your money back. That's how confident we are.
I see every person out there as a future fan of stand-up comedy, because if you saw the right person and experienced it right, you would love this art. Because it's the most it is the most human thing out there. And so like
it's
people,
the most American thing.
Oh yeah, it is.
It really,
That's all we got.
And it's good. It's funny at least.
The other stuff we're not that proud of. But comedy is
sandwiches. I think we're pretty good at sandwiches. Like talking to people that are like not into stand-up comedy, like they wouldn't seek it. I say like to them, come and experience offline. And I assure you, you're going to become a fan of comedy. And if you're not, I will gladly refund your ticket. Because I want new people to become fans of stand-up comedy because it's good for everybody. My feeling is that like stages across the board, like giving people a microphone and an opportunity to speak whatever the truth they're seeking to speak is good for all of us. And I think that even the most... like absurd, embarrassing, like ridiculous thing that people say on stage, it's better out than in. And let them face the music, or is that the saying? Like face the noise or whatever. Like, oh, that's not funny. Oh, that is racist. Oh, that is offensive.
Andrew's experienced that a couple of times.
But that's
He's
because they don't get me.
Every time Andrew's on stage, I'm like, you probably shouldn't say white power.
I did say that last night on stage, but it was a good joke. I think.
Well, cause like it was my first experience with you guys was like, that's what I did feel. I was like, oh, this is cool. This is a different experience. This is like offline. I mean, Marcus tried to kick me out in the beginning, but besides that, it was pretty cool. He was like, yo, actually,
I was trying to ban you.
He was like, I don't know who this guy is, but it's not open to the public yet. And I was like, I don't think you know who I am, but I'm going to go tell Andrew. Andrew, you told us to just go in, but we just got kicked out also.
I like how Micah's trying to say, he was like, do you know who I am? In all honesty, he was just like, my bad.
Yeah, I know. You were so sweet about it. You're like,
so
no, my
nice.
bad, my
You were
bad.
so
And then-
My bad. I just literally got told to come in and make myself at
We
home.
sent him
And like
in
he was
and
like,
then
yeah,
out
just
and then
like
back
go
in.
in, yeah. And then I was like, as soon as I walked in,
I
like,
did feel
the
bad
people checked in with
immediately.
me, and then they're like, actually, hey, can you just wait for a second? I was like, yeah, no worries. And the Andrew's like, no, you're good to go in. I was like, I don't know, man. I was
He's
just
like, I don't know who the fuck to listen to right now.
Yeah.
I went to Marcus right after he kicked you out, and I was like, "You just kicked out Micah," and like I personally invited him and said, like, "Please come and experience it." I was like, "He's like a."
And then I told
dude.
Andrew, I was like, oh, so he caught in for free?
So we didn't make any money off this. No, but it's a cool experience. It's just like a different environment. You know
Thank
what I
you.
mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I like.
you.
I like it. I appreciate you guys making shows in the area.
Thank you, man.
Making content in the area. We made some content.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're gonna keep doing it.
Gonna keep doing it as
We're
well.
gonna get funnier.
I'm gonna get on stage at some point in
Yes,
here.
you are. You're
yeah,
gonna
you
host
are, dude.
the show that is in a secret location very close to here.
yeah.
We're not sure.
We're not sure where it is yet, but
It's definitely not.
it's not here yet.
Here.
Oh, not here yet. Maybe it will
It
be
will.
here. I mean, that one will be here, but
Yeah.
let's get me on stage.
But we're
time
also.
before that.
I think we don't tell people when that.
No,
one-
I don't
Oh,
want to
yeah,
know. Like,
yeah.
so I used to want to, and then I mean, after talking to the city, I was like, I don't want to tell anybody.
Yeah, dude. Like, yeah, no.
like just make it. Just it'll happen, and then
Yeah.
they'll find out the day of
Yep.
that it's at this
Yeah.
location, and
Yeah.
that's fine.
The government can't mobilize in a day.
Yeah,
unless you're
exactly.
Trump.
I also heard on Saturdays and Sundays apparently, like the permits and everybody
closed.
doing all this. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
closed. And I
The
was like,
planning department's not working hard.
I was like,
All
oh,
they're trying to
so
do
this
is make
all,
life harder for us.
This is all made up. Like that's what I was like.
I learned that
I talked
on
to
the
the
city
city, and the
council.
city was telling me all this stuff, and I talked to the city council, and they're like, yeah, just ignore all that. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna do my thing, and it's what I've been doing, and I'll just ignore.
When I was on the city council and like business owners that went to the planning and stuff, and I was like, oh, you talked to, I'll say a fake name.
Yeah,
Should I say the real one?
gonna say a real one.
you can say it. It's okay. You should do the first name. No one's gonna fucking know.
Marcus
Everyone,
Pevrill.
Adrian. I was like, oh, you talked to Adrian in planning. You just persist. Like, because it's, I don't know why city planners get on their high horse, but they want to make business hard because they've never worked as a private business owner.
huh?
And like to anyone in city planning, please recognize we're suffering. And you are a cog in a machine until you become human. And you got to recognize that all we want to do is do things.
Yeah, do cool stuff in the area, and like if
Back
you
up. Like,
yeah.
we're not doing anything illegal. If we're showing up to City Hall, we're the people that you should just let do the thing that we're doing, because the people that don't show up to City Hall are the ones you should worry about. If we're seeking a permit, be like, find the easiest path to starting it.
Yeah, make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's literally what I like learned from the
Yeah.
past 3 weeks. is
Ignore
that.
it.
Yeah, and like especially when city council members are like, no, like we want this cool stuff in the city. So like, if you're going to be doing different cool things, like
Do it.
do it. Yeah. And it's like if the city council members are doing that, they're representing.
They're the reps.
Yeah, they're the representing
Yeah.
their constituents. It's not
Yeah.
like the literally workers in City Hall who are
Yeah.
like, this is their day job, 40 hours a week, and they're not happy.
And I'm going to do a quick anecdote, because two things. A majority of the people that I met through the city experience, from like police, fire, planning, all across the board, good people that like are part of their community. It's like a single person that's, I think, tired of their job, that's still there, that's maybe just disconnected from what we're experiencing our day to day, that is in their routine, that just kind of messes things up. And like, to that person, I would wish that you recognize like actually what you're doing to us, and just make a minor adjustment, and just be like, what can I do to help you? That's
Yeah,
it.
exactly. And the crazy thing was when I was talking to somebody, there's so many people in the back where, what if he does this, or what if he doesn't? And the lady in the front was just shutting everybody down. Like, I was just like, no. And it's just like, bro, I'm sure that guy has like not even a loophole, just a way of like, what if he did a permit for one day for this thing?
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And then like, if you want to do it more, we can figure it out.
I got rejected for a grant from the city of Turlock for like a small business grant. And then they denied me for this thing. And I was like, by the letter of the law, I'm permitted, because I'm an artist studio operating in the downtown core in a commercial space. And then they were rejecting me. They rejected me. And I had to cite their code in order for them to finally grant me a small sum of money. And it's like, why would you have taken a very strict conservative approach on this, when the intent of what your grant was completely aligns with what I'm doing. I'm driving your economy. I brought 100 people into your downtown. And they went to businesses, they went to restaurants before, they went to bars after, and they supported artists. And my business gave money to the small business that I hosted in, and
and then the people working it,
all
blah,
of it.
blah, blah. Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
why
yeah.
would you have stood in the way of that?
People don't know, man. People don't know.
They don't.
Yeah. So how can people support you guys? What is the best way?
Get off the internet.
Get off the internet.
But first, follow us.
do your offline plug, and then your
Yeah.
guys' individuals as well.
Oh yeah. Individually, Andrew Nosrati on social media, Nosrati. It's probably in the description. I hope you tag me.
If I figure that out.
I'm gonna figure out how to be a very funny comedian. And like simultaneously, like on the Marcus, give your plug on the personal side of things.
Just Marcus Pevrill on Instagram. Marcus and then Peverill. Yeah. I don't know why I said that as a question. I'm asking you. Follow me on Instagram. If you can't find me on Instagram, I actually don't really care. You'll find me because we're hanging out.
And also, like on the side of the internet things, it's weird to be plugging the internet while you're offline.
Yeah.
But you are all on the internet, and like you see our stuff, and it's the easiest thing to double tap, and it's the easiest thing to just like engage with it, and that fucks with the algorithm hard. If every person that saw our content engaged with it, then all of a sudden, like, it's a multiplier effect, and you shared stuff occasionally, that's tremendously impactful, because we have to pay to get reach sometimes. And like, if we had a natural built-in audience, and I know it's not begging, it's just saying that the facts of the matter. If you engaged in the comments with anything, then all of a sudden this like faceless machine that churns out content would be like, oh, the people like this stuff, go ahead and like it, comment, follow, tell, and also word of mouth, like 100%. And then on the offline side of things, like fuck with us, like show up.
Offline comedy, is that what it is?
Offline comedy. At offline comedy, not unplugged comedy. It's
at offline.
Yeah, and we have text subscription. I highly recommend subscribing to those, because I really do wish that we get to the point where we never have to put out a poster for any event we ever do.
It's just like
again.
that underground vibe of like, if you know, and you got to get in.
And we're gonna get there by the end of the year.
Kind of like
Can I make a recommendation?
yeah, whatever you want.
Okay.
What do you think he's gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I want to do an event where I truly don't announce anywhere except for the date and the location.
Like the city, right?
No, actually the location on word of mouth. And we
just see
like
who
a
shows
year
up
from now.
and kind of see who
or
shows
like
up.
6 months from now, and be like, it's gonna be on this date. So let's figure.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be a social experiment. We're truly. I'm not gonna make a poster. I'm not gonna text anybody. I'm not gonna do it
it's word of mouth. Yeah.
Tiny little room, maybe like maybe 50. Let's get 50 people in a room without doing a social media campaign.
We could do that easily. I think we could.
All word of mouth. We're gonna do that because
then it just kind of can snowball from there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah, baby.
Andrew,
Big
Marcus, Offline Comedy, Central Valley Podcast. You'll be seeing a lot more of us, you guys. We'll see you later.
Shout out Duffy, shout out Michael.
This is it. Central Valley Podcast. Hey, big shout out Central Valley Podcast. You know I had to fuck with it. Hey, shout out Central Valley Podcast.